Okay, how's that? Good? For some reason, my mic has been playing up recently. For some reason, like, every time I launch TikTok, it changes the source that it's detecting for my mic. But anyway, that's technical details. Let's not get bogged down in that. Welcome back. Welcome back to Farm Sim Friday. We are sorry we've started in a little bit of a rush today. I wanted to do today's stream a bit earlier because we ended up streaming quite late last night, and I didn't really want to repeat of it. I want to finish at a reasonable time today, so we're just doing 2 till 5. But we're back in Farming Sim. We're back in Saxlingham. The plan for today is very simple. We have got to start planting. If we take a look on... Sorry, the menu's been really slow as well now. If we take a look on the map, we are going to plant in fields 2, 3, 7 and 19. That's the plan for today. First things first, though, we do have a little bit more stone picking to do in field 2. So I'm going to get straight down there. Let's go. Shift up a bit. There we go. Thanks for the heart me's and the fest pops, Dre Dog. How are you doing today? So, like I say, sorry we've just kind of dived straight into it, but I will explain what's going on as we continue. So first things first, we are going to head to the shop. Going for a nap, no worries Charlie, I'll see you later. We're going to head to the shop and we are going to buy another tractor, because at the minute we've only got this tractor. We got the little Volvo Crabber as well, but that's a really tiny thing, it's not very powerful. There we go. Put my beacons on. I think the dead zone on my steering wheel's changed as well. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. Why is it doing that? Look how far I'm turning it. That's like that's a 45-degree turn. That's a 60-degree turn before the in-game wheel even starts responding. Okay, I am going to have to go back to the main menu real quick and sort that out, because that's ridiculous. I don't know how it's ended up happening. I saw your Peak District video, amazing as always. Thank you, Dre Dog, very kind of you. Let me just... For some reason, the colour on my webcam's really off today as well. I look really yellow. I know I'm wearing a yellow hoodie and that might be affecting the colour balance a bit, but it's never usually this extreme. Like, look at how yellow my face is. Orange, even. Let me just... Here's what's happened. It's reset all of my dead zones to 14%, when previously I had them all set to 1%. Why has it done that? The same thing happened with Euro Truck yesterday. Like, it reset a load of my settings, apparently without reason. These should all be on 1%. Hey, Bertie boys, how long will be live today? I'll be live till 5 o'clock today. Okay, there we go. Setting all the dead zones to 1, and then we'll dive back in. Would probably... I was randomly thinking if you went to the Peak District at least once a week over the summer, you'd probably get most of it covered. That's not a bad idea, Dre Dog. I don't think I'd want to go every single week, though. I wanted to go once a month. That was my plan last year, was to go once a month, and I ended up missing a few. But next year I'd like to try and get into a routine of going once a month and maybe doing a video a month on it as well. I just can't get over how orange I look on the webcam right now. Why it... it's never usually that extreme with the colour balance. It's just really off today for some reason. But then again, everything else is really off today for some reason. The game's off, the webcam's off, my mic wasn't working properly at the start. Everything's just a little bit wrong. But anyway, we're at the shop. We are going to buy a new tractor. I've got my mind on the New Holland TM series, because it's a great tractor. Which version, though? Super Steer or just the standard? I don't really know what the difference is, apart from the Super Steer costs £6,000 more. But what's the difference? What does the Super Steer actually do? 18.6 power shift, 18.6 power shift. It doesn't seem to. It doesn't like affect the gears or anything like that. I think we'll just go without it. It's cheaper to get one without it. There's not really any point if I don't know what it even is, you know. We'll get the standard New Holland version. Queer, yep, I am indeed queer. I always love it when people try to use queer as an insult. Like, you know that we reclaimed that like 10 years ago, and most queer people will happily call themselves queer these days. What am I doing with the wheels here? We'll just keep the wheels as standard. And I've gone for Vredstein again. I like the Vredstein tyres. I don't know why, but I've always liked those. Dashboard speed unit miles per hour. Engine side panels. What's that? I can't see any difference, really. Oh, just under the cab there, there's a little panel. We'll leave that off. Painted grids. That changes the bonnet panel. I think we'll go painted. Side license plate, no. Exhaust, standard or straight pipe. We'll keep that. No front weight bracket. We could get a 3-point linkage on the front, I think. Should we get a 3-point linkage on the front? We'll not yet, but we might at some point. We don't want a front loader. I think that'll do. We'll buy that. 86,000. Sounds good. Super Steer moves the front axle when turning, giving better steering lock. Okay, thank you, South Devon Contracted. You only have to say it once. I appreciate I was, you know, in the middle of something, so I didn't see it straight away. But if I don't read a comment straight away, it's usually because I'm in the middle of talking. Okay. But we bought a new tractor, and it's a much older New Holland, but this is one of my favourite New Hollands. We use this one quite extensively in Osada on Farming Sim 22. If you were watching back when I was playing Farming Sim 22, we used this tractor a lot, and it's a very good one. I like it. Ooh. Although the gearbox doesn't seem to respond properly to the shifter, which is unfortunate. Oh, there we go, it's working now. But we're going to use this for the stone picker because it's not quite as powerful as the T800 series there, or T8000 series rather, but it will be more than powerful enough for the stone picker. We're going to use the T8000 for planting. I was just rushing in case you change your mind on what I want. Okay, thanks, South Devon Contracting. Yeah, I'm happy with this one. How's the beacon on this? Oh, that's a good beacon. We like that. Oh, I was gonna. Hold on. I want to move my beacon light. 1 second. to there, just so you can see the control panel a bit better. Do you have any videos planned, says Draydog? I honestly don't know, Draydog. There were a couple of videos that I wanted to make before the end of the year, but I kind of put them all on the back burner and have not really had a chance to work on them. We have still got a whole month left, so, you know, never say never. There could be a couple more videos coming. But I don't really know. I don't think there's likely to be anything substantial. Okay. Unfolding. So we're going to get a worker to do this for us. Workers can do stone picking, can't they? They better be able to, because I have got other things to do. Okay, there he goes. Now, he might struggle a bit on the rougher terrain, because obviously this is ploughed. But, as long as it picks up the stone. There we go. Now, while that's happening, we are going to switch back to the T8000, the T8020, and we are going to take a look at planters. What map is it, says Courtney? This is Saxlingham. Okay, not planters, seeders, sorry. We are going to need a planter at some point, because I want to do sweet corn and sunflowers, which you need a planter for. But for now, I'm going to get a seeder so we can do oats. We currently own this one, the Great Plains Solid Stand, which is 49.5 grand. But it's quite small. It's only 4.6 meters wide. Now, I was thinking about the Vedastat Rapid A, which is 159,000, but it's a lot wider. If we can get this one, if we can scrape together the money for this one, I think it would be a much better option than sticking with what we've currently got, because again, the Great Plains one, it's very small for the size of fields that we have. I think it's probably going to be best if we replace it. So first things first, we'll go and pick it up and sell it and see how much money we get from that, and then see how much more we need to scrape together to be able to buy the one that we want. Why farming sim, not a racing sim? Ain't it boring? Not to me. I like farming games. Again, different people have different interests. You know, what one person finds boring, another person might not. And I've never found farming sim boring. I've always thoroughly enjoyed it. Did it hurt when you chopped it off, says Rig? I haven't had it chopped off, Rig. And I don't intend to. I'm quite happy with it. Thanks for your concern. Do you do it IRL, says JJ? I don't do farming IRL, no. I spent a lot of time on farms as a kid, because my granddad worked on a farm. He used to take me to work with him, which is why I have an interest in farming, but it's not something I've ever actually done myself, no. Okay, there we go. Oh. Grandad's turning in his grave, says say no to hammers. Maybe he is. We don't know. He died before I came out, so quite honestly, we don't know how he'd react to my coming out. And again, to be quite frank, doesn't really matter, because he's dead. To be quite clear, I think he'd be quite accepting, because he was always quite an accepting person, and he was always accepting of stuff like, you know, like gay and trans people, to my knowledge. But again, we'll never know, and it doesn't matter, because he's dead. It's as simple as that. Isn't it boring playing Saxlingham all the time, says Tyler? Well, I only play it on stream, so I only play it like 3 hours a week. And we are only 7 episodes in, so I've definitely not played it enough to get bored with it. We are only going to be playing it until Christmas, though. In the new year, I'm going to be moving on to Kinlake from the fishing expansion. What platform are you on? I'm on PC, Rig. Okay, there we go. I just want to make sure the tractor itself isn't in the sell zone. We will repair it first, because I discovered that you do... Oh, it doesn't need repairing. You do get a bit more money if you repair it first before you sell, but it doesn't need to be repaired. 45 grand. Okay, that means we are still 50,000 short of buying the planter, the seeder that I wanted to get. So, is there any other equipment we have that we could sell? Where's the vehicles tab? There we go. Draydog says, I'm planning on doing random videos next year, but I need someone to edit them for me. I'm terrible at it. You'd be surprised, Draydog. It's not too difficult, honestly. I mean, most of my videos, the editing's very basic. I don't really do anything fancy with my editing. Just a bit of voiceover and a few cuts. It's not too difficult to get into, to be honest. I think once you learn the basics of it, you soon get the hang of it. And like I say, I wouldn't say I'm an expert in video editing, and I don't really do anything very fancy with my editing. But the basic stuff isn't too difficult to learn. Okay, anyway, I'm going to have a quick look through and see if there's anything else here that we can sell. We could sell the Class Quadrant. This baler is worth £137,000, and we already have a second, much smaller baler. We've got the New Holland Pro Belt. Why are we keeping this huge, ridiculously expensive baler that we're not going to use? Let's go and sell it. Okay, I've got some drift on the camera now. The in-game camera. I forgot it was Farm Sim Friday. It is! Silly Maxer, how are you doing today? I always look forward to these Farm Sim Friday streams, as you know. Hello, Henry, just tuned in. How are you doing? Have you drove a tractor before? I have. I've driven a tractor before. It's the only vehicle I've ever actually driven in real life. I've driven tractors a couple of times. Never on the road, always in the field. But yeah, I have driven a New Holland T6, I believe it was the tractor that my granddad used to use when I used to go to work with him. Okay, where is my baler? There it is. Look at the size. We got that Cramper big body trailer as well. What? Look, we got a trailer there. We got that trailer, and we've also got another trailer. We're wasting so much money having this equipment that we don't need. We're selling the trailer as well. Let's get rid of the trailer. Let me just check. What's the capacity? The corn trailer is 14.5 cubic meters. The Cramper big body is 37.5 cubic meters. Okay, it might be worth keeping the big body, because when it comes to selling, we can use the smaller trailer to bring stuff back to the silo, and then we could use the big trailer to take from the silo to the sell point. So it might be worth keeping both trailers. The baler can definitely go, though. We are going to sell the baler, absolutely. Yo says, Aiden, MCL, if you don't mind me asking, when did you become trans? About 4.5 years ago, Aiden. I came out in July of 2021. That's good. Be true self. Don't let anyone bring you down. Thank you, Aiden. Thank you very much. God, this is slow. Let's go up to top gear. What's happened here? Oh, there's been a traffic accident. Lovely. Okay, let me... I mean, it looks like it's not moving at all, so I'll just skirt around. I think what's happened is that van there has glitched. And it's ended up blocking all the traffic. Which I've not seen before. I don't think that's intentional. I think that's a bug. Do you have any other days for games, like today's Farm Sim Friday? I do, Jay. I do Minecraft on Monday, Euro Truck on Tuesday. Wednesday is Horror Wednesday. Thursday is Factorio. Friday is Farming Sim. Saturday is Train Simulator. And Sunday is Sci-Fi Sunday. I don't do every single one of those every single week. I don't have time for that. I do like 2 or 3 streams a week, but I always like stream the same games on the same days. Oh, look at that. 150 grand for that baler. Jesus. Do you still play piano, says Stephen. I do, Stephen, yes. I haven't put out any piano videos for a while. I would love to put out some more soon. The thing is, there's a couple of songs that I've been working on. There's a couple of pieces that I've been working on. But I don't have any at the moment that are good enough for me to be able to record. But there's a few that I'm working on. Maybe I'll try and get at least one more out before Christmas. Have you ever played classical? A little bit. I'll be honest, I don't really enjoy playing classical music that much. Because a lot of classical music is quite slow. And I like to play... I don't really enjoy playing slow songs. I like nice, fast-paced pieces, you know. If you've watched some of my previous piano videos, you'll see that a lot of the piano covers that I've done are very fast, very upbeat pieces, and there is a lot of that in classical music. But there's also quite a lot of slow classical pieces. You know, I'm not totally averse to playing classical music, but it needs to be the right piece. You know, so never say never. Classical is fast, Beethoven, Chopin. Yeah, like I say, there is definitely faster classical music. Like I say, it's just finding the right piece. And also, look, I'm going to be honest, I'm not very good at piano. I know whenever I post a piano video, I always get so many wonderful comments and compliments about my piano playing ability. I'm not that good at the piano. There's a reason that I play the pieces that I play. Because they are fairly easy pieces of music. When it comes to, like, quite complex pieces of music, and classical music is often very complex, I really do struggle with it. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not that good. Like, I'm good enough. I always say I'm good enough to impress people who can't play piano. You know what I mean? Like, someone who doesn't play piano would probably see me playing piano and think, wow, you're really good. But someone who's an actual trained pianist would probably see me playing piano and think, okay, good try, but a bit basic. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with being, you know, okay at piano. But yeah, I like I say, I've never claimed to be great at it. Because I'm not. Do you get copyrighted for your piano covers, says Draydog? There has been a couple of occasions. Off the top of my head, I can't remember which ones. Normally you're okay with piano covers, because they're different enough from the original piece. But there have been a couple of instances where I've at least got a copyright warning, not a copyright strike. But I think on YouTube in particular is a bit more strict when it comes to copyright. And its like copyright detection system is a bit more strict, so it sometimes gives you a warning for, for covers and stuff like that. But I've never had like anything removed or restricted because of copyright in terms of my piano covers. Hi, Matthew Tucker. How are you doing? Have you watched the new Stranger Things, says Daniel Foley. I'm not really a big Stranger Things fan, to be honest, Daniel. I've watched bits and pieces of it, but not, like, religiously. Do you support the farmers' protests, says South Devon Contracting? Which farmers' protests are those? I wasn't aware of any protests going on at the moment. Oh, we're going to start in Field 3, actually, because we've still got a worker picking stones in Field 2. How's he doing, by the way? I'm just going to pull into this lay-by for a second and see how he's getting on. I've seen your videos. You're good at piano playing, your style of music. That's very kind of you, Stephen. Thank you. Like I say, I think I'm good at what I do play, but there's a reason. I'm very specific when with the tunes that I choose to play. I don't take requests. I've never taken requests, specifically because I hate the idea of someone giving me a request, can you learn this piece, and then me just absolutely butchering it. So I don't take requests. I specifically play pieces that I personally choose to learn off my own back. And like I say, I think the pieces that I do play, I'm good at. But I choose them very specifically because they're ones that I know that I can do, you know what I mean? Okay, he's 45% full, by the way. Best one was the Wallace and Gromit one. Thank you, Daniel Foley. I'm very proud of my Wallace and Gromit ones, honestly. I think those are definitely some of the best ones that I have done. Especially the last two. I did the train chase from The Wrong Trousers and the rocket launch from A Grand Day Out. I think those are two of the best covers that I've done, like, full stop. And I'd love to do more Wallace and Gromit stuff because I love the soundtrack for the Wallace and Gromit series. And Chicken Run. Oh, Chicken Run, this is a really good example of one that I would love to play, but I think it's a little bit outside of my skill range. I'd love to do... there's a piece from Chicken Run called Building the Crate, and it's from right at the climax of the film where they're building... Spoilers if you've not seen Chicken Run. Right near the end of the film where they're building the plane. It's such a cool piece of music. It's my favourite piece of music in the film, and I would absolutely love to learn it. But again, it's an example of one of those pieces that's just a little bit outside my skill range at the minute. Maybe someday, but not today. Okay, just give me a second whilst I set up my seeder. We're going to plant oats in this field. And steering assist, and off we go. Are we planting? We are. Lovely. I'm learning a piece called Prelude in G minor by Rachmaninoff. Have you ever heard it? I have, Stephen. I might have used it in one of my videos, actually. I'm thinking it sounds familiar. I think I might have used it recently. But yeah, great piece. I do use a lot of classical music in my videos as well. You've probably noticed if you've watched my videos for some time. I am a big fan of classical music. I just don't really enjoy playing it that much. But I do love classical music, and I have used quite a lot of it in my videos. Happy Friday! Hi, Moo Boy, how are you doing? Hey, Saul, how are you today? I'm very good, thank you, Gemzone, sorry. How are you both? South Devon Contracting, there was a massive protest this Wednesday. A few got arrested and had their tractors taken. I had no idea about that. I've not heard anything about this. I'll have to look into it. Hope you're having a nice day, says it's HLYT. I am, thank you very much. How are you doing? Now, for some reason, the texture isn't really changing as I'm planting here. Why is that? Just make sure we are definitely planting. Okay. It's definitely going into the ground. The seed is definitely being planted. That's the main thing. It's just going to be hard to tell where we've been. I think it's because we used the stone picker, and for some reason the stone picker leaves behind a texture that is almost identical to the texture left behind by the sewing machine. It's really annoying when the game has two textures that are so similar to each other that you can't tell where you've been and where you haven't. But at least the steering assist does show me which bits I've done and which bits I haven't, so it's not a complete... You know, it's not all bad. Did you see the new Minecraft clothes, says Mooboy? I didn't, Mooboy. What clothes are these? Are you talking about real clothes or in-game clothes? Why no Minecraft, says Jays the Kid. Next Minecraft stream's going to be on Monday, Jays. Facecam, says Harvey Reid. What about it? Is it working? It looks like it's working. I've got my preview open. Real clothes. Oh. I've not heard anything about these either. I'll have to have a look. Not the best, though. I mean, yeah, so I don't think I'd really wear anything Minecraft branded, to be honest. I mean, I guess it depends what it is. Hey Saul, how are you? I'm good, Paul. How are you doing today? Oh, we've gone a bit over there. I think you need to with a machine like this, though, because you might have noticed at the other corner I missed a little bit. I think it's better to overshoot slightly and then correct when you've got something this size and shape. Oh, there's my other worker working away at the stone picking. I'm good, thanks. Just waiting for my pallet. Nice one, Paul. What pallet's this? I think this is another one of those jobs where I should really be doing the headlands last. But it's too late now. We've already started. We've already done one. The idea is that you want to minimise the disturbance to the ground. You know, when you're planting, you want to do the headlands last, so you don't drive over the seeds that you've just planted and disturb them. Whereas when you're harvesting, you want to do the headlands first, because obviously you don't want to drive through the fully grown crops to get to the middle. But again, it doesn't actually make a difference in Farming Sim, fortunately, so we can kind of get away with it. Cool shirts and Minecraft collab. Interesting, Mooboy. I'll have to take a look. Morning, Saul. How you doing, T? Welcome. What mod gives you the lines that you drive by? This isn't a mod, Jan. This is standard in Farming Sim 25. If you're on Farming Sim 22, there is a mod called... I think it's just called GPS, which does the same thing. But it is standard in Farming Sim 25. You don't need any mods to be able to use the GPS steering. What's your opinions on Labour, says South Devon Contracting? Look, I don't want to get bogged down in too much political discussion today, but let's just say I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan. I don't think anyone's a big fan of Labour at the minute, are they? The left hate them, the right hate them, they hate them. I don't think anyone likes Labour right now, to be quite honest. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say at this moment in time. Would you like to buy a farm in real life one day, says Toe. I don't think so, Toe. I think it's too much of a risk. Big respect to farmers. It's a very risky job to be in, you know. All it takes is one bad season and your crops and your profits are completely destroyed, you know. Especially the way things have been the last few years, you know, with Brexit as well. So much funding's been cut for farmers. It's a thankless job and it's very risky. I'm going to stay in the cab for a little bit. What about a chosen family compound, says Mooboy? Interesting idea. I think also probably not. Are you on the Highland fishing map? I'm not fishing with RJ, no. We're currently on Saxlingham, but we are using some of the equipment from the new Highland fishing DLC. This tractor, for example, the New Holland T8000 series, is from the Highlands fishing DLC. Great setup. Thank you, Paul. I've been doing some thinking, and I actually might keep my setup like this for Farming Sim and Euro Truck. I was saying yesterday that I was thinking about getting a second webcam, so I could have one webcam on my face and one webcam on my sim gear. But actually, I watched back some of the stream from yesterday in Euro Truck, and it's not bad. Like, I mean, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But I think it works quite well having the vertical webcam like this and having all of my stuff in one shot. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. But honestly, why bother buying another webcam if I can make it work like this? I'm enjoying it, says Mooboy. I think that would be a good idea, says Daniel. Thank you for letting me know. Like I say, it's I was a bit apprehensive about it at first, but, you know, technically the game, I haven't resized the game window. The game window is the exact same size as it's always been in all of my other streams. All I've done is moved the game window up slightly because there was a bit of empty space above it, and obviously I've removed the game name being on screen that I used to have, and then I've turned my social links sideways instead of having them in the center of the screen. So basically I've managed to make my webcam bigger without changing the size of the game window. So yeah, I think really it's worked out quite well, and I might just keep it like this. Obviously when I'm playing non-driving games I'll do my usual landscape camera. But yeah, for driving games, for Farming Sim, Euro Truck, you know, any other driving games that I might play, I might just keep it like this. I think you might need to make your webcam straight rather than having it on the angle. That is unfortunately one thing that I can't do, South Devon Contracting. The only way that I can get all of my sim gear and my face in one shot is by having the camera tilted like this. If I have the camera like straight up, it cuts off quite a lot of the gear, so you can basically only see the steering wheel and my face. this was like really the only place that I can have the webcam so that you can see everything. But it's not too bad. It is a little bit extreme, the tilt, but I think it's something that I can live with. Like I say, the problem is my desk's in a corner, and right behind the webcam is a wall, so I can't move the webcam any further back. In an ideal world, I'd move the webcam further back, and then obviously you'd see more of the setup in shot. But I can't do that. The webcam can't really be moved from where it is, so like I say, the tilt is just kind of a necessity for me to be able to have all of the stuff in shot that I want. Stream was frozen for me earlier. How are you today, Saul? I'm very good, Silly Maxer. How are you doing? Sorry to hear that the stream was frozen earlier. Ooh, I accidentally let go of the wheel then. I've done that before, and the ball has hit me really hard on the arm. It's actually quite painful. It springs back really fast. Like, look, there you go. I mean, it's not too bad today because I've got my hoodie on, but when you've got no sleeves and you let go of the wheel and it just flicks back round and this thing smacks into you, it stings a bit. How many screens are you using, says Paul? I have 4 screens, Paul. 4 screens. I've got my main monitor, which is what I'm playing the game on. I've got my second monitor is on the side because I've got a corner desk, so I've got a second monitor over here, which currently has TikTok Live Studio on it. I've got a vertical monitor sort of here, which has got the chat on it, and then I've got a tiny little monitor here, which has got my webcam preview on it. So yes, I do have 4 monitors. All 4 of them are different sizes. It's not like your typical dual monitor setup where you have 2 identical monitors next to each other. No, I've got a big one here, then a little one there, then a vertical one there, and then a tiny one down here. But it works, surprisingly. The thing is, they're all different sizes because they all serve different purposes. You know, one's for gaming, one's for working, one's for reading the chat, and one's for the webcam preview. And sometimes I have Task Manager on the little one as well. I'd love to have a GPS on it because there is a mod, I think there's a mod for Euro Truck that allows you to have a GPS, like pop-out GPS, that you can put on a second screen. It would be really cool to have the tiny one here have a GPS on it for Euro Truck. Might be something that I'll look into in future. Pro Gamer, says Silly Maxer. Yeah, honestly, I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back. I think I could manage with 2 monitors. I did manage with 2 monitors for a long time, but I honestly don't think I could handle just 1 monitor anymore. I've gotten so used to having multiple monitors, you know. And like whenever I'm working on something, like when I've been working on my train sim project, for example, I'll have my train simulator open on my main monitor. Then on the vertical monitor, I'll have like some reference photos that I'm using to do modeling or whatever. And then on my third monitor, I'll have some YouTube video on, you know, that I'm just watching in the background. I like to multitask, you know. So yeah, 4 monitors is great. Maybe I need a 5th. Maybe it's about time we got monitor number 5. AJ Gaming says there's one I use on my mobile phone with a sat-nav app for each S2. That's the one I'm thinking of, AJ Gaming. Yeah, I think you can use it on desktop as well and have like a second window with the GPS in. It would be cool to set that up on the tiny monitor. Scott Ashton says, I've gone 4 monitors, 3 for my sim and then my main FPS monitor. Oh, you have 3 interconnected screens for like a super wide view. That'd be quite cool. If I did that, though, I'd have 6 screens. Does that work like live sat-nav? I think so, yeah. I think it responds to the in-game sat-nav. Although I don't think it actually shows the position of your truck. There's some limitation to it. I can't remember exactly what it is. But there's some information that the game doesn't give out. So it doesn't quite work exactly like the in-game sat-nav does. I don't know exactly how it works, though. It's called Truck Sim GPS, says AJ Gaming. Thank you, AJ Gaming. Do you live in the UK, says Own 8s? I do own 8s, yes. Let me just check on the stone picker, by the way. Okay, he's doing quite well. How's your transition going? Haven't seen you for a while. It's going good, full stop. Thank you very much. I mean, I say it's going good. I haven't really made any medical progress since last time. But I have made some progress in my legal transition. I got my new driver's license about a month ago. Still working on the passport situation. I've been having so much trouble with that. It's been over a year now since I applied for my new passport, and it still isn't sorted. Just every single document that I send is apparently not good enough. They always want something more. I think it's definitely got a lot to do with recent policy changes in the UK. I mean, I know for a fact that that's the case, because I had a phone call about a month ago. Someone from the passport office called me a month ago, and explicitly told me that because of a recent policy change, they can no longer accept a written letter from myself as proof of my gender change. It has to be a medical professional. So yeah, if I'd applied for a new passport a couple of years ago, it probably would have been sorted by now. Unfortunately, due to recent events in the UK, they've added in all these extra steps that I now have to do, and unfortunately, it's been an uphill battle, honestly. Thanks for following, Deacon. AJ Gaming says it's in beta at the minute. You can get it through Patreon. I think it's £7 a month. Brilliant app, worth it, big time. If there's a free trial, I might give it a try. £7 a month sounds a little bit much for something like that, but it depends what it's like. You know, if they've got a free trial, or I suppose, you know, just get it for a month, and if I don't enjoy it, just don't pay for another month. But yeah, maybe it's worth that. I don't know. Might be worth a try. Hey, what's the aim of the game? I don't get how people enjoy this, says Ethan. It's enjoyable to me, Ethan. You know, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, not everyone's interested in farming, but I am. And you'd be surprised how many people are. I'm not convinced, fella, says Stylus. It's funny you should say that, Stylus, because actually, we've been streaming for almost an hour now. I'm surprised that nobody's mentioned the fact that I have not put in any effort whatsoever into my appearance today. I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm not wearing an outfit. I'm not even wearing my fake boobs. I'm completely flat-chested today. I literally just put on a hoodie and sat down and started streaming. I'm surprised no one's mentioned it until now. But yeah, I literally have deliberately made as little effort as possible to convince you. So, if you're not convinced, who cares? Do you really think if I was trying to convince you, I would just put on a hoodie and start streaming? Your hair's very pretty, though. Thank you, Silly Maxer. The hair is on point, as ever. I'm very... I love my hair. Ethan says, you look good like that, though. You should stick with that look and not with the trans stuff. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Ethan, because I'm still trans. Like, just because I'm not wearing any makeup or a special outfit today, that doesn't mean that I'm not transgender. Convince us of what? Says Drew Simmons. Well, that I'm a woman, Drew. For context, if anyone hadn't already realised, I'm a trans woman. And occasionally people like Stylus join my live stream and tell me that I'm not convincing. Basically, he's trying to say that I don't look like a woman. He's trying to suggest that I'm pretending to be a woman and I'm doing so unsuccessfully. And again, doesn't really matter to me because I am very clearly not trying to convince anybody that I'm a woman. I am a woman regardless of how convinced or not convinced people are, you know? Do you go for boys or girls or both, says Ethan? I would say both, Ethan. I'm not really fussy when it comes to gender. I would definitely say I have a preference for women. But there are certainly attractive men, I won't deny. There are some good-looking men out there. So yeah, I would say I describe myself as pansexual, but I definitely have a preference for women. Sending love, thank you, Hannah. 100%. Oh yeah, like I say, I know in a lot of my live streams, and especially in my videos, I do make an effort, like with makeup and my outfit and stuff like that. But that's just, you know, that's just because I want to look nice. You know, I'm not doing it because I want people to think that I'm a woman. You know, I already am a woman. And that's the point, like, when I do a stream like today, where I don't put in the extra effort to wear makeup and wear an outfit and stuff like that, it doesn't make a difference, because, you know, I'm not doing it to make people think that I'm a woman. I am a woman regardless, you know. Do you not get bored playing this shit, says Boss? Nope, I don't find this game boring. I really enjoy this game, actually. And as I've said in previous live streams, a big part of why I play games like this on stream is because they're quite slow-paced and quite relaxed. You know, the whole reason that I do live streams is to talk to the audience. You know, if it was just about the game, then I'd record a video. You know, I'd just do like a let's play. The whole reason that I choose to do live streams is so that I get the audience interaction. So I specifically play games that are quite laid back and relaxed because it gives me more chance to speak to people. You know, that's why I play Farming Sim, Euro Truck, Minecraft. You know, quite laid back, relaxed games. You're always glowing to me. Thank you, Silly Maxer. Very kind of you. Have you ever thought of surgery, says Drew Simmons. I have not, Drew. No, I don't want to get surgery. I don't consider it necessary for me personally as part of my transition. I do intend to take HRT. I'm not on HRT at the minute, but it is definitely something that I would like to pursue. The reason I'm not on it at the minute is because I would like to do it privately, and I'm not quite yet financially stable enough to have that expense, you know. And it's also it's not like a really urgent thing for me. Like for a lot of trans people, it is a lot more urgent, you know. For me personally, my gender dysphoria isn't really that strong. Like, it's definitely something that I want to do, but it's not something that, like, I need it right now, you know? I can afford to wait until I'm a bit more financially stable and I can go private with it. What's HRT? HRT is hormone replacement therapy. So for trans women, that's estrogen, progesterone, estradiol, Spiro. I forget what Spiro is short for. It's a really difficult word to pronounce. There's a few different ones. For trans men, testosterone and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely something that I want to do. It's not something that I'm in a rush to do, you know. And I have spoken as well. I did a video about full transition, because a lot of people have this misconception about trans people that there's a very clearly defined start and end point. But in reality, every trans person has a different journey. Everyone has a different goal in mind, you know. And even if I never take hormones, I'll still be a trans woman, you know what I mean? Like, even if I end up going my whole life without ever taking estrogen, it won't change the fact that I'm transgender, you know? I think people do have this misconception that all trans people must follow XYZ steps. Like, every single trans person must take hormones, every single trans person must have surgery, and it's not the case. For some trans people, it's necessary. For some trans people, it's not. You know. Big Chungus says messing with your hormones is really dangerous. It comes with a cost. It does indeed come with a cost, Big Chungus, and the cost is big old titties. Which, honestly, I'm not mad about. In fact, that's the intended side effect. So there are side effects to hormones, and they warn you about those side effects when you start HRT. Like, again, another misconception people have about trans people is this idea that you just walk into the hospital one day and say, I'm transgender, can I have some estrogen please? And the hospital staff are just like, yep, here you go. Of course that's not what happens. When you start taking HRT, it is made very, very clear to you what the side effects may be. Just like with any medication, they aren't just going to let you take it without explicitly making sure that you understand the risks that you are undertaking, you know? Bazoinkas, says Silly Maxer, exactly. Again, that's the intended side effect. You know, that's not a side effect. That's the effect. What's HRT? HRT is hormone replacement therapy, Paul. You're so confident. Great for you. This day and age, more people need to be like you. Thank you, Drew. That's very kind of you. I do think of myself as a very confident person, and I definitely didn't used to be. Before I came out, I was really miserable and anxious and antisocial. Whenever people ask, like, you know, do you ever think you've made a mistake? I just remember how I used to be, and I'm like, no, definitely not. I'm so much happier now. I'm so much more confident. I'm a totally different person in so many ways. It was life-changing, you know. It is a life-changing thing, but in the best possible way. Okay, first field is planted, by the way. Are your parents or friends disappointed, or are they okay with this? My parents and friends are very supportive, Ethan. I've been very lucky. My family have all been incredibly supportive. I know for a lot of trans people, they don't get that luxury. A lot of trans people are disowned or, you know, shunned by friends and family when they come out. And my heart goes out to people in that situation. But me personally, I've been incredibly lucky. Just every single friend, every single family member took the news so well. I've never had any trouble with friends and family. They've always been incredibly supportive. When I'm doing the assistant lines, you should try cruise control, just giving you an idea. I should use cruise control more. I do have it mapped on my side panel, but I don't really use it that much for Farming Sim. I should do. Oh shit, I've just hit a tree. Does the gear shifter work on Farming Sim? It doesn't, Rapids Rab, I'm sorry to say. There is a mod, there was a mod on Farming Sim 22 that allowed you to use it. I'm not aware of any mods on Farming Sim 25. There might be, but as far as I'm aware, there's currently no way to make it work for Farming Sim. Do you work or are you at uni, says Drew Simmons. At the moment, I'm between jobs, Drew. My most recent job was a graphic designer in a print shop. But I have been to uni. I have a degree in game design, and I really want to be doing a game design related job. That's the industry that I really want to be working in, and I'm always looking for opportunities in that area. Feels very nostalgic driving this tractor. Again, if you've been watching me for a very long time, back when I first started playing Farming Sim last year, we did FS22. We had this exact tractor in Osada, the Polish map. Great tractor, I really love it. Big up Osada, says Matty. It's a great map. Oh, I do love Osada. We should play it. Hopefully, it's not on FS25 at the minute, but hopefully, if it comes to FS25, I'll definitely consider playing it again because it is a really good map. They are going to convert it to FS25. That is great news, Matty. In that case, it would be great to play it again. I want the Through the Years mod to come back again as well. When we played on Osada, we were using a mod called Through the Years, which, if you're not familiar with it, it makes it so that there's an in-game year, and you can only buy vehicles that were available in that year. So we started in the 1960s, and we could only buy tractors that were available in the 60s, and then with each live stream, we advanced further and further in time. And then by the last episode, we were in the early 2000s. Such a cool mod. Such a cool concept. I feel like it's a bit of progression that Farming Sim, sorely needs. And it was really great to see it in that mod. I hope that gets ported to FS25 as well, because it was so fun. Afternoon, Saul. I'm at the gym, but popping in to say hello. Hi, Marika. How are you doing today? Good to hear from you. I'm live for another 2 hours today, so if you get a chance, do pop in later. Are you on a DLC map at the minute? I'm on Saxlingham at the minute, which is a mod map. If you don't mind, what gender are you now? A woman, says Daniel Function. I am Daniel, yes. I am a trans woman. I was assigned male at birth. I've been out for about 4.5 years now. Hannah says, that's cool, reminds me of my granddad, who literally had such an old tractor, shows the evolution. It's really cool to see how tractors have progressed over time. We actually have an old Volvo Crabbit back on the farm. I'll show you it in just a second. Let me just get somewhere where I can pull over. But even this tractor here, the New Holland TM series, I think this is from the 90s. But it's really cool playing with mods like that and seeing how tractors advance over time. Each year, new tractors get unlocked. It's a really cool concept. Like I say, I think Farming Sim, there's definitely an element of progression missing in Farming Sim. Apart from building your farm, it doesn't feel like there's really much of a progression system. Whereas with a mod like that, there's this whole extra layer of progression, because you start off with 1960s tractors, and then as time goes on, you're oh, it's 1975 now, this new tractor's just come out, are we going to upgrade? It's a really cool concept. Like I say, I hope that mod comes to Farming Sim 25, and hopefully something similar might even appear in future Farming Sim games as standard, because it's such a cool concept. But this is our oldest tractor that we currently own. This is the Volvo Crabbit. This is originally from the Silver Run Forest map from Farming Sim 22, but obviously it's also available in 25. Really cool. I love this thing. And I feel like having a mod like that really, it kind of forces you to use the older tractors as well, because I really love vintage tractors, but there's not really any reason to buy them in this game. Like, there's no real use for them. Whereas if you're playing on a mod like that, where you have no choice, you have to start with this old, small equipment, it really encourages you to use that equipment more, which is really cool. How old are you, says Drew? I'm 26, Drew. Okay, we're going to get this worker back on the field again. Hopefully he remembers where he was. Okay, that's not a good sign. Oh, whoa, 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 where are you going? Where are you going? What are you doing? No, no, you've already done that bit. No, 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 no. Whoa, 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 no. I'm not paying you to do the same bit twice, mate. One problem that I have with AI workers... Well, I've got about 50 different problems with the AI workers in this game. But one thing that really annoys me is... You should be able to leave the field and then come back, and the worker will remember where you were. Especially with a job like this. When the stone picker's full, I have to go back to the farm to empty it out. The AI worker should remember where I left it when I come back to the fields, rather than trying to start the whole field again, which is stupid and annoying. See, where's he going now? What are you... Are you stupid? Are you stupid? Where are you going? Where are you going? No! No! No, I specifically told you not to do the headlands. Did I not specifically say, don't work the headlands? Do what I tell you to do. I'm paying you to do this. I'm paying you to pick the stones out of this field for me. Do it properly. Okay, start with up, down, work the headlands, off. Right? Go. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Okay, fuck off. I'll finish it myself. Useless. Looks like we're stone picking again, everybody. I love how in every single farming sim game, they're like, we've improved the AI workers, they're so much more intelligent now, and they're just not. They're not. Like, oh wow, the AI workers are so much better now, they know how to do X, Y, Z. Like, yeah, but they still can't do the things that they were supposed to be doing 5 years ago. They still can't just drive up and down a field in a straight line properly, can they? Oh. Doesn't matter. We'll do it ourselves. We'll finish the job. I guess we could get an AI worker to do the planting and we'll finish the stone picking. That's not a bad idea. Is this Farming Sim 25? It is, Maya Grieve, yes. You getting annoyed is making me laugh, says Paul. Don't apologise, Paul. That's what I'm here for. Everyone loves to see me get angry, apparently. What map you on, says Kenny. We are on Saxlingham. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch to this guy. I'm going to get this guy to... I'm going to get an AI worker to do the planting, and we'll finish the stone picking. And I would like him to plant corn. Oh, wait. Can't plant corn. Hold on. We need to get a planter. The seeder can only do wheat, barley, oats, canola... It can do peas and spinach for some reason, but it mostly is only for grain crops. We need a special planter for corn and sunflowers, which we are planning to grow, so we'd best go and get one of those. I'll leave this in this lay-by for now. We do own the lay-by, so technically this is our land, so we'll just leave the seeder there for now. Whoop. How's the spider, says Chappers. He's very good, Chappers. He had a mealworm yesterday, so he's been fed. He's doing good. Your farming sim looks so realistic. Mine looks like FS22 or older. Sorry about that, Maya. What's your computer like? Or are you playing on console, maybe? It's because it is very dependent on your machine, I think, with a game like this. PS5. Oh, it shouldn't be too bad on PS5. How much control do you have over the graphics settings on PS5? I'm not really sure. I've never had a PS5. PS5 currently is the only PlayStation console that I've never owned. As you can see by my PS1... Oh, you can't see my PS1 on the stream. I've got a PS1 on my desk, which should tell you that I'm a big PlayStation fan. But I've never had a PS5, so I don't know anything about it, really. Okay, planter, that's what we need. I'm thinking... There are a couple of good Vader stat planters. They are very expensive, though. Look at this one. Damn. Oh, this one can plant everything. What? Why wasn't I informed about this? This one can plant... This thing can plant literally everything. Look at that. It can plant everything that a seeder can plant and everything that a planter can plant. I could have just bought one of these. Is it? It's here as well. Okay, right. We're going to sell the Rapid. We're going to get this thing instead, because this thing can do the job of a planter and a seeder all in one. It does say wheel weights on the tractor are required for use. Okay, I'm guessing it's quite heavy then. It weighs 10 tons. Mind you, this one weighs 7.5 tons, so... thanks for following, Maya Grieve. Gotta go back to work now, chat soon. Thank you, Paul. Maybe see you later. I'm thinking, though, I'm going to save before I make another big purchase, but I'm thinking, rather than spending another 150 grand on a planter, why don't I sell the seeder and we can buy the combined seeder and planting machine? Because I was not aware that there was a seeder that did all of it. You know, I wasn't aware that there was one that did both jobs. Now I know. Why don't we just buy one? Time you on till, says Daniel. 5 o'clock today, Daniel. So we're about halfway. Well, a bit less than halfway. It's only 3:15. Wow. Thought it was later than that. Yeah, we'll take this back to the shop and sell it. We'll unload the seeds first. I want to get those seeds back. Seeds are expensive. We'll have to check on the sheep soon as well. We haven't checked on them for a while. I've just realised we've had the time scale on 0.5 for the entire stream, so it's still only 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to turn it up to 2 times. Oh, we could check the used vehicle sale, actually, before we buy anything else. You never know. Some good stuff in there. Right. Unload. Oh, do I need to unfold it first? I think so. Back up a little bit. Why is it not giving me the option to unload? Why is it not? Ah, there we go. It was I. Right, so we're going to sell this. We literally only bought it half an hour ago and we're getting rid of it already, but there's a better machine out there, you know. Let's be more efficient about it. Okay, quick look in the used vehicle category. There's a baler, 79 grand. It would be nice. I know we only just sold our big baler, but it would be nice to get another big baler, and it is half the price of the previous one. Bit harsh selling it, says Diarmid Boyce. We sold it because we're going to be buying this thing instead. The Vaderstat Proceed V24. This works as a seeder and a planter. So we can use it for all of our... You know, basically we can plant anything with it, which is very useful. Although I am just now realising that it requires 300 horsepower. And our most powerful tractor has 281 horsepower. And I don't think it can be upgraded any further. 1 second, let me just confirm. The 8000 T820. 281, okay. And I'm guessing we can't upgrade it any further. Let me just double check. Oh, is it under large tractors? It is. Oh, we can. Whoa, we can upgrade it to 359 horsepower. Okay, well, there we go. Problem solved. Let's do it. You're the first non-Irish person that's pronounced my name right, says Dermid. Really? Wow. Well, I'm glad that I pronounced your name right. I just think of, like, as soon as I read your name, I thought of Ian McDermott, aka Emperor Palpatine. I know his surname's spelt without the U, but I just assumed it was the same pronunciation, Dermid, and I guess I was right. Okay, customize. Now, should we... Should we go right for the biggest one? It'll cost 19,500 to go for the 359 horsepower, but we could go for 307, we could go for 342. I mean, we've got the money. We might as well go for the big one, actually. Yeah, let's go for the big one. Okay, that's a lot beefier now. That's now got 359 horsepower. Previously, it only had 281. So that's quite a significant step up. What's your favourite tractor, says Franz Conrad? Good question, Franz. I've got a few favourite tractors. I'm a big fan of the New Holland TM series, which is this tractor here. I've always liked the TM. We had this in Osada in FS22. I'm a big fan of classic Massey Fergusons, particularly the 135. What a great, iconic classic tractor. And I like Challengers. I love the original Cat 65C Challenger. If you've not seen it, well, you know what modern Challengers look like. This one's quite an old one, the 35E. But the original Cat 65C Challenger, it looked like a tank. It was a huge boxy thing, like really square compared to the more modern ones. But it looked so cool. I really love the original Challenger. Anyway, we're going to now go to Planters, and we are going to buy ourselves the Vaderstack Proceed V24. Look at the size of this thing. What is that? What is that? Is that just the seed tank? Because it looks like it's fucking air conditioned. Why is it huge? That's massive. Is that a mod? It's from the Highlands Fishing DLC, Dylan. The new DLC that just came out, and I'm gonna buy it. I'm having it. We have Massey Ferguson 135, says Oni. Nice one, Oni. Like I say, I do love classic Masseys, and the 135 in particular is just an absolute icon. But I'm a big fan of vintage tractors as well. Oh, thank you for the tea gifts, Hannah. This stream's curing my migraine. Thank you, thank you, Hannah. That's, you know, I will put that on my channel banner as an endorsement. Known to cure migraines. God, this is huge. Right, okay. It did say that I need wheel weights to use this. I'm curious as to why it specifies wheel weights, though. I just want to have a quick look. It could be because the back wheels are off the ground, so there's quite a lot of weight on the discs. I don't know. It doesn't seem big enough that it would need wheel weights, but it says in the store page that I should have wheel weights. So I don't know. We're gonna try without them for now. But if we struggle, we can always come and get wheel weights fitted. Right, why would you... Oh, okay. Oh, we're not going to fit that last little bit in here, are we? There's not going to be enough space. Nope, of course not. How much is left in there? 500 litres. Okay, that's quite a bit, actually. Fair enough. Thanks for the heart me's and the fest pops, Dre Dog. Very kind. Right, better fold back up before we go back out onto the roads. Okay, we're heading out with our new 360 horsepower T800. It's been upgraded from an 8020 to an 8050. This looks really weird attached to the back of the tractor. It looks like it's too close to the back. But I think, oh yeah, it's because it's actually articulated. You can see that little bit there with the front wheels on it is actually attached directly to the 3-point linkage, and then there's a hinge behind it. It looks weird. It's cool, but it looks really strange. I'm intrigued to see it in action, though. The cure of migraines and making me consider picking up FS25 again. Nice one, Hannah. I'm on console, had a shared server with Nitro, and it broke. Damn. We had a Nitro server when the game first came out, and I might consider doing another server in the new year, because it's been a while. But yeah, you should get back into it. In fact, if you get back into it, we could do a cross-play server in the new year, maybe, and then you could play with me. Is Minecraft Monday on as normal next week? It should be, Draydog, yes. Can you put your webcam straight? It's on an angle, please. I cannot put my webcam straight, Jake, unfortunately. There is nowhere that I can position it where you'd get a decent shot of my setup. There's a wall directly behind it, so I can't move it further back. There's a monitor directly to the right of it, so I can't move it sideways. It really can't be moved from where it is, so it's not a massive lean anyway. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Okay, we are selecting corn as the seed this time. We're going to get our AI worker again. This time I would like you to work the headlands. And I would like you to start with the headlands. I know, again, shouldn't start with the... Oh, wait. We can't plant corn until April. Right, okay. Never mind, then. Never mind the fact that I've just spent £140,000 on my fancy new sewing machine. I guess we'll put it away until April, when we can actually plant the corn. Fine. Is that Farming Sim 25? I still play 22. It is 25, Josh, yes. Okay, so all of that, and we're back to just stone picking again, because we can't plant the corn today. I've got a question. How do you enjoy just driving a tractor on a game for hours? Genuine question, no hate. I just enjoy it, Jake. You know, I always find it really hard to explain why I enjoy things. You know, I just do. I just like it. It's enjoyable to me. You know, everyone has different hobbies and interests. If I always use football as an example. No hate to people who like football, but I don't get it. Like, I don't get why watching people kick a ball around for 90 minutes is enjoyable. For me personally, I watch football and I'm like, okay, it's kind of boring. But that's okay, it's just not for me. Some people really like it, and that's fine. And it's the same with Farming Sim, you know. Some people will watch Farming Sim and be like, this is really boring, how do you enjoy this? But for other people, it's really fun and they like doing it. You know, it's just, we just have different interests, that's all. That's life. Joshua says, my stepdad plays Farming Sim for hours. Mum ends up shouting down at him. Oh, my dad's the same, Josh. My dad's quite big on Farming Sim as well. He's got it on the PS5. Oh, no, he's got the Xbox, sorry. But yeah, he's always playing Farming Sim. I don't see the point in tennis, hitting a ball for hours over a net. Exactly, Draydog. That's exactly my point. Like, it's okay for people to not like the same things that you like. That's life. Good, says Hannah. Thank you, Hannah. I see what you're doing. What made you go trans, says Arch. Well, back in 2021, I got the COVID vaccine, and they put something in it that made me transgender. That's how it goes, you know. Many such cases. Of course, I'm joking. I came out about. I did come out about 4 years ago, but it was nothing to do with with getting a COVID vaccine. No, I've always felt that there was something a little bit different about myself. I've always felt a bit uncomfortable. You know, when I was a kid, I always felt a bit uncomfortable as a boy, and I never really understood why. You know, through my teenage years and stuff like that, I always had body image issues. I was very self-conscious, but I could never quite put my finger on what was causing it. And I didn't really know much about trans people as a kid, you know, so I never really considered that it could apply to me. But then you know, as I got older, the feelings never really went away. You know, I reached adulthood and I still felt like there was just something wrong with me that I couldn't quite put my finger on. I just didn't really feel comfortable in my own skin, you know, and I started to think, you know, maybe I'm transgender, maybe I'd be more comfortable as a woman, and I just found myself asking that question, you know. I think at every trans person, I think most trans people's journeys begin with that question, you know. One day you just ask yourself, would I have been happier if I was born female, you know, and I'd been raised as a girl and lived as a woman? It's a big question. It's not a question that you just come up with one day and then immediately become transgender. It's one that takes a lot of soul searching and a lot of self-reflection to really reach that conclusion, but that is the conclusion I reached. I would be happier if I was a woman, and I am happier now that I live as a woman. I would be even happier if I had been born female. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. But, you know, you can't change your past, but you can change your future, you know. I can't change the fact that I was born male. I can't change the fact that I was born with XY chromosomes. But I can change, you know, maybe change isn't the right word, because it implies that, you know, being trans is something that people choose to do, which it's not. It's not a choice, it's more like a realization, you know. But yeah, it's like I say, it wasn't a conclusion that I reached lightly. There was a lot of soul searching, a lot of self-reflection. But the proof is in the pudding, really. You know, I'm a lot happier now than I was before. I'm a lot more comfortable. I'm a lot more confident. I definitely reached the right conclusion, you know. Jake says, another question, because you want to be a girl, does that mean you like girls or lads? I mostly like women. I'm definitely attracted to men as well, but I have a preference for women. I'm not really fussy, to be honest. I've always felt, I've said this in a few previous streams, I've always felt, you know, if you like someone, does it matter whether they're a man or a woman? You know, if you like them, who cares? And I think a lot of people are afraid of being perceived as gay. I was saying this in Eurotruck yesterday. I think a lot of people are scared that other people will think they're gay. You know, I can't do this because then it will make me look gay. I can't wear pink because people will think I'm gay. I can't listen to music by a certain artist because people will think that I'm gay. Like, who cares? What does it matter? What does it matter if people think you're gay or not? What does it matter if you are gay or not? Just enjoy the things that you enjoy and stop worrying about, does this make me gay or not? You know? Thanks for following Grass 2025, by the way. Zeus the Labrador says, do you still play OMSI? I haven't for a while, Zeus. I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. It wasn't really for me. I know a lot of people do ask me if I'll ever play it again, and it was quite a popular game back when I did play it on stream. So maybe at some point in the future I'll consider playing it some more. But I don't have any hard plans for it. There are no visible rocks on this field, says Big Chungus. What, pray tell, do you think these are, Big Chungus? Do you think those might be stones, perhaps? Oh, thanks for following on Twitch, Stray Dog. Oh, that wasn't you. You followed a couple of days ago. Who? Someone just followed on Twitch. 1 second. It was Praying Snails. Thank you, Praying Snails. Thank you very much. Sorry, I was reading the wrong notification. I mean, thank you for following as well, Draydog, even though that was 2 days ago. Oh, it's Grass 2025 from TikTok. Nice one. Do you have an Xbox? I don't have an Xbox, no monkey, no. I'm playing on PC. I do have a PlayStation 1. But no, I don't have any of the... I don't have either of the current consoles. Well, I say either. I guess there's the Switch as well, which I also don't have. Thanks for following Hannah on Twitch as well. Kind of you. I'm on YouTube as well if you want to go and subscribe over there too. So it's up to you. Are you on multiplayer? I'm single player only today, no monkey. Nice setup, thank you, Praying Snails. I'm very proud of it. It's taken me a few years to build my setup up to this level, but I'm very happy with it. What map? This is Saxlingham. But yeah, I started with the steering wheel and side panel. I got those about 3 years ago now. Then a couple of years ago, I bought my beacon light. Last year, I got the gear shifter. A few months ago, I got the handbrake. And at the end of last year, I got the ignition lock from FS25 from the collector's edition. Yeah, it's taken me a while to build it to this level, and I'm always looking to improve it. Next year, I'm thinking about replacing my steering wheel because it's getting a bit old, starting to show its age. But yeah, I'm very happy with what I've got here. I play that one. It's good. It is a great map, really great map. I'm going to skip a row here just because it's easier than doing a 3-point turn. We'll come back for it. My dream side panel's made by a German company. What panel is that, South Devon Contracting? I'll be honest, this side panel here, I think this is one of the best side panels you can buy. I think this is a really, really good piece of kit. The steering wheel, because I bought it as a bundle with the steering wheel. The steering wheel, it's cheap. It's a bit rubbish. But the side panel, you can buy the side panel on its own for 150. You should buy this side panel. It is really, really worth it. It's just really good. You know, it looks and feels like a real side panel in a truck or tractor, and it's very... A lot of other side panels are just kind of a flat box with a load of buttons on it, but this is like, you know, it's specifically shaped so that it feels like a real side panel. You've got different sized and shaped buttons. You've got the stick here for extra control on vehicle arms and stuff. Like I say, there's a lot of side panels that it's literally just a completely square box with 20 buttons on it, and that's not really a side panel. That's just a button box. You know, this actually feels like a side panel, and I think it's really great. I really highly recommend the Logitech G heavy equipment panel. S says, hello, my favourite trans creator. I'm voting for you in the Twitch Awards. Thank you, S. I didn't know there were any Twitch Awards, but thank you. Praying Snails says, Farming Sim side panel, so good, I have it. Nice one, Praying Snails. Like I say, really great piece of kit. Even though I am planning on upgrading the steering wheel, the side panel, that's here to stay. I have no plans to replace that anytime soon. LS Seitan Consulen is the company name. I will take a look, South Devon Contracting. Thank you for the recommendation. I mean, I'm always on the lookout for new peripherals, and I'm prepared to have my opinion changed. If it's really something special, I'll definitely look into it. Very expensive, but it's worth it. Ah, okay. See, the price might be the big downside for me. I'm not averse to spending money. You know, I'm not averse to spending a bit more money on something that's a good quality product. But I've always had the attitude of, you know, if the cheaper option is, you know, good enough, then buy the cheaper option. You know, maybe not good enough, but I just feel like quite often the cheap option is a good choice, and I feel like sometimes people deliberately avoid cheaper products because they're cheap, you know. But like this side panel's a really good example. This is only £150, which is quite cheap in the grand scheme of things, but it's really good quality for what it is, you know. I don't get the attitude of spending money just for the sake of it. I'm not saying, you know, that's the case with this side panel that you're telling me about, but there's certainly a lot of people out there who will buy the more expensive option just because it's the more expensive option, and they kind of want to flex on how much money they've spent on it, you know. Again, I'm not saying that applies to this specific case, but yeah, like these headphones. The headphones are a really good example, actually. These headphones, I bought these headphones on Amazon for £15. These are dirt cheap headphones, and I don't really care. I don't, because they're fine. They work fine. I don't want to spend £60 on like some really expensive branded headphones just because they've got a brand on them, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they might be better quality technically speaking, but these are fine. These are good quality and they're cheap, you know what I mean? Again, if the cheap product is actually a cheap piece of crap, then don't waste your money, you know. But at the same time, if the cheaper option is a good option, then why not go for it? You know, why not take it? Clothing's where I agree with that the most, says South Devon Contracting. Oh yeah, I definitely agree with clothing. I don't really buy label clothing at all. I don't see the point. I don't see the point in spending a ridiculous amount of money on a t-shirt that's got a Nike tick on it when I could buy the exact same t-shirt without the tick for £2. You know, I really don't. I don't see the point in buying label clothing, to be honest, for the most part. Draydog says you can get decent wheels for cheaper at CEX or anything in general. I do agree with that, Draydog. There's definitely some good stuff in CEX. I do shop at CEX quite a lot. I've got most of my PS1 games I've got from CEX because they still have a small selection available. I bought quite a lot of DVDs from CEX. I haven't really bought too much hardware from there. I did buy a PS4 a few years ago, and I bought a couple of controllers. But yeah, they're definitely a good option. And I think when I was looking at the Thrustmaster T248 steering wheel, I do remember seeing that they had some in CEX for a decent price. So yeah, it's definitely a good place to look if you want to save a bit of money. I don't see the point in being confused, says Kizza. Okay, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that remark, but sure. That's what I have, says Seb. Yes, I remember you telling me yesterday, Seb. Thrustmaster sounds like not a steering wheel, says Murphy. Honestly, yeah, it's the brand name is a bit sus sounding, but they are good quality products. This the gear shifter here. This is a Thrustmaster. They do some really good flight sticks. I've got a friend who's really into flight sim, and he's got all the flight gear from Thrustmaster. They are actually really good quality products, and they're not too expensive. Actually, they're on the cheaper side. I love Logitech. Their wheels are the best. I do love Logitech. Like I say, my steering wheel and side panel are Logitech. I've got a Logitech controller. I've got a Logitech webcam. They are definitely a brand that I'm a big fan of as well. And again, they're normally a fairly budget-friendly option, which I always appreciate. What's the plan for today, says P? The plan is we are planting. We've planted some oats in field 3. We're also going to be planting some corn in field 2. And I would like to plant sunflowers in field 7 and 19. Hopefully we can get all of that done today. We've still got another hour, so we'll get as much as we can done. What's your real name, says Ethan? My real name is Saul. S-A-U-L. The racing wheel, I use mine for farming sim and everything. Could not recommend more. Nice one, South Devon Contracting. I'm not a big fan of racing wheels for simulator games, really. I like this wheel because it's purpose-built for simulator games. And that's kind of why I want to get the Thrustmaster T248, because you can use it for simulators. It's good for heavy-duty vehicles and for racing, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. The thing for me about racing wheels for simulator games is the angle of the wheel. Racing wheels tend to be angled quite low, or quite high. Is it multiplayer? It isn't, Leon, no. Thanks for following, Bob. Do you plan on changing your name? I don't, Ethan, no. I have changed my I have changed my middle names, but I don't intend to change my first name. I quite like my first name. Okay, we do need to return the stone picker, by the way, because it is a rental. So let me take this back to the shop. Then I think we're going to sleep. I know it's still technically 9 AM, but we have been, it's because I've had the time scale turned down too far. I'm going to sleep because we need it to be April to be able to plant our corn. I used to have the Hori wheel and it's crap, so is the side panel. I have heard bad things about the Hori farming vehicle control system, yes. Because I was actually planning on getting one last year, but I heard bad things and I decided maybe not. Oh, Hannah on Twitch says, I've not been on Twitch in ages. Do you have subs turned off or has it changed? I can't see the button. I honestly don't know, Hannah. I really don't know what I'm doing with Twitch, to be honest. I just kind of press the button to start streaming and just let it go. I really am not too familiar with how Twitch works, to be honest with you. Get a new wheel, says DJ Camo. Well, like I was saying earlier, DJ Camo, I am planning on upgrading my wheel next year. I've got my eyes set on the Thrustmaster T248. The only downside is it doesn't have thumbsticks. It's always a problem. Racing wheels never have thumbsticks. There are a couple, but for the most part, racing wheels don't tend to have thumbsticks because you don't really need them for racing games. But for simulator games, you absolutely need to be able to look around. Which is another reason that I tend to avoid racing wheels, because they're just not really suited for it, you know? I don't have thumbsticks, but I use an Xbox controller. So how does that work, though, DJ Camo? Like, do you... So if you have to look around, do you have to, like, switch over to the controller? That seems, like, really tedious, for want of a better words. You know, I couldn't play this game without having the thumbsticks here on the wheel, you know? I can't imagine having a separate controller that I have to pick up whenever I want to look around. That just seems really impractical to me. Why are you still playing Saxlingham? That map came out months ago. There are way better maps right now, says Ruben. Well, the simple reason, Ruben, is that I only play this game on stream once a week. And if I was always playing the latest map, then we'd only ever spend, like, one episode on each map. There really is no way to progress unless I spend a bit of time on a map. Like, we've only been playing on this map for 7 episodes. Like, I'd love to always be playing the latest map, but they come out so frequently that I'd never really have enough time to dedicate to a specific map, you know what I mean? Which is why I've stuck with this one for as long as I have. And it is a good map, you know, I do enjoy this map. Oh, what have I just done? No, fold that back up. Do you have Highlands fishing? I do, DJ Camo. We are going to be playing on the new Kinlake map in the new year. I'm still on Saxlingham for now, but both this tractor and the Cedar here are from the Highlands fishing DLC. So we have been using some of the equipment from it, but we haven't played on the new map yet. Okay, I'm going to head over to the sheep farm. What's that key thing? This is the ignition lock from the collector's edition of Farming Sim 25, which I pre-ordered for £60. If you get the collector's edition, it comes with this ignition lock and 2 keys, and it works for both Farming Sim and Euro Truck, and probably other games as well, and it's really cool bit of kit. Adds that little bit extra immersion. Oh, I was supposed to be checking out the sheep farm. I've just immediately gone back to the tractor. Is it just me, or do you have a mustache, says Ruben? But probably do, yeah, probably Ruben, yeah. I'm not wearing any makeup today, so you can definitely see my stubble. My 5 o'clock shadow, or as I like to call it, 1 o'clock shadow. Right, my problem is... My problem is that I get stubble almost instantly. Like, I shave, and 20 minutes after I've shaved, I've got visible stubble. Which is why I normally wear makeup on stream. Because as you can see, I mean, I literally shaved about an hour before the live stream. And already I've got, like, really visible stubble. But yeah, unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that at this particular moment in time. Wait, we got lambs! Oh, I've just noticed! We got babbies! Oh, hello, babbies! Oh, how do I crouch? There we go. Look! The sheep have given birth. Oh, this is amazing. 0 months. Oh, they're so cute. How many have we got? We got 28. 28 baby sheep. Oh no. 50. We got 28 rams and 25 ewes. We got 53 sheep. Oh, 53 little baby lambs. Oh, I love it. So cute. Hello. Oh, I love lambs. Lambs really are very cute. That means we've got, like, 70, 80 sheep now, including the lambs and the adults. As soon as the lambs have grown up a bit, we are going to sell some of the adults. Is it a wool farm, or, says P, at the minute it's just a wool farm. I do have the meat processing mod installed, and I was planning on doing some meat products at some point. I don't know if we'll get on to that on this map. But in future, I would like to try it. But yeah, at the minute they're just for wool, and we will eventually sell some of the adults. But we won't actually do any... I don't think we'll get a chance to actually turn any of them into lamb chops in this series. Can I get the key thing separately? Not that I'm aware of, DJ Camo. Maybe on eBay someone's selling it. But quite frankly, the only reason I bought the collector's edition was so that I could get this. So I don't imagine there are too many people out there who bought the collector's edition and then decided to sell the ignition lock. You can have a look, but yeah, I wouldn't imagine you'd find very many people selling them. We need to get rid of some of this wool, by the way. At least move some of it out of the way. I am going to buy... I installed a new mod. I got the JCB Teletruck, which is like a cross between a telehandler and a forklift. It's really cool. If we just... what map? The map is Saxlingham. Where is it? Ah, there we go. It's under forklifts. Yeah, this thing, the Teletruck. We can get the Industry Pro, or we can get the electric version. Is there any difference between them apart from one being electric? Not really. I guess we could get the electric one. Why not? So this is the Teletruck. It's, like I say, it's a cross between a telehandler and a forklift. So it's got the compactness of a forklift truck, but it's got a telescopic arm like a telehandler. Really cool bit of kit, and I think it's going to be quite useful for us, for our pallet handling. Where's the... Oh, we can get it with a UK map. Cool. A UK flag, sorry. Forks or a skid steer attacher. Now, the problem is... 1 second. Let me go back to the sheep farm for a sec. Do you ever get bored on Farming Sim? I can go 2 to 3 days and then get fed up. Well, I only really play it once a week when I'm streaming, Brandon, so I don't really play it enough to get bored with it. I need to go and check over at the yard. I'm back. I uploaded 2 shorts on YouTube. I have to check what I upload because sometimes the views get stuck on 0. Oh, I've had that problem as well, Draydog. Okay, what we need... Never mind, it's back at the farm. Where is it? Here, this thing. We need something that can attach this to the front. This is our bale shredder, so you can pick up bales with this and it shreds them for animal feed. Whatever equipment we buy, it needs to be able to attach this, and I don't think the Teletruck can. Yeah, it doesn't look like it has the right connections for that, so we may have to go for a skid steer. We do have the Massey Ferguson 711 skid steer. Classic piece of kit. But then again, this also doesn't have the right linkage, does it? Hold on, let me look at the actual bale shredder in the shop. It'll be under... straw blowers? No, it'll be under... What would it... Where would it be? Would it be under MISC? No. Where did I buy that? Oh, it could be under skid steer tools, maybe? Or some kind of tools. The shop, even a year after the game has been out, I still struggle with the shop. It's really badly laid out compared to how it was in FS22. Okay, it's this one here, round bale cutter. We can get it with a 3-point attacher, a Euro and 3-point attacher. What's the difference with what attachment is the Euro thing for? Ah, oh, it can attach to these. That's odd. Yeah, if you look at the attacher on the front of this Schaefer, it definitely looks like it'd fit onto there. I really wanted to use a skid steer, though, because it's a lot more compact. I don't want to be buying another tractor just for this. Can we not get a skid steer for the back? A 3-point linkage for the back of the skid steer? No. I'm going to just reset this to the shop for a second. And I'm going to take this to the shop. Have you seen the new Thrustmaster side panel, says Leon? I haven't. Are they making a new side panel? Can I see your trucks mods, says Kieran. I don't have any mods on Euro Truck at the minute, apart from a couple of Steam Workshop things, and I'm also not on Euro Truck, so I can't really show you. You can see my mod list in the Discord server on the Trucks channel if you're interested. How old are you, says Drew? 26, Drew. I think you asked me that earlier. I haven't aged midstream. Well, I have aged a little bit. I've aged by about an hour and a half. I may have left then. No worries, Drew. Whoa! What? What happened there? No need for the attitude, says Rocco. What attitude? It was a joke. It was a sarcastic remark. Do you play Euro Truck, says Daniel? I do, Daniel, yes. I played it yesterday, in fact. I played the new Nordic Horizons DLC. That was very fun. It was a funny joke. I liked it. Thank you, Rebecca. And thanks for following. No more place to play. I know, I need to move the wall. Don't beg it, says Rocco. I mean, sounds like someone here has an attitude, but it's not me, Rocco. I think that might be projection, my friend. Oh, I already have it with Euro and 3-point attacher. Okay. So I didn't need to customize it at all. I'm gonna save quickly because I'm not sure. I don't want to buy something that won't work. I'm gonna try and buy the Teletruck. Put the beacon on, please. Oh, this forklift doesn't have one. Oh, it does, but it's not responding to the in-game one, unfortunately. Can I join? It's single-player only, Boxing King, I'm afraid. Okay, Teletruck does not attach. Confirmed, does not attach. We can try a skid steer real quick. Although I've got a feeling it's going to be the same. Oh, it might work with the front loader. You do not have enough money. Okay, let me just lease it then, just to check. Going to skid steer buckets, says Yoan. Skid steer loader tools. Okay. And look at what? What am I looking at? Nothing there. Never mind, never mind. The thing is, sometimes stuff does appear in the shop and it doesn't show you all of the connections. Like, sometimes certain mods, it won't tell you that you can connect when you can. Oh! Yes! Perfect! It fits! Okay, there we go. Problem solved. Now I'm gonna quit the game because I still accidentally bought the Teletruck that I didn't need, but it does fit onto the skid steer, so we can use the Massey Ferguson skid steer for it. Oh, 2 of my mods have been updated while I was playing. Let's update them. The shop is painful, says Hannah. It really is. Like, compared to how it was in FS22, it's so badly organised, and I don't understand why. I don't understand what was wrong with the shop in Farming Sim 22. Why did they rearrange it, and so unintuitively? How much is all your kits there, says Drew Simmons? The simulation gear is about 400 in total. 230 for the wheel and side panel. 70 for the gear shifter, 30 for the handbrake, 60 for the ignition lock, and 5 for the beacon light. On Farming Sim there is trucks too, says Kieran. There are indeed, Kieran. There are a few trucks available to us. While we're waiting for our mods to update, let's have a quick look in the trucks tab, actually. I'd like a nice vintage truck if we can find one. The Transtar is good. We do have, yeah, there's the Volvo F series, isn't there? Not this one, this is a custom version, but there is a Volvo Globetrotter, which is, yeah, this one here, by Giant Software. This is a good truck. When we do eventually get a truck, I'd like to get something like that, because I do love older trucks. But anyway, let's, oh, is it still downloading? I've just updated it. Hi, how are you doing today? I'm good, STFC. How are you doing? The reason the internet's so slow is because I've made the critical error of downloading a mod whilst I'm also streaming, and you know, I've got such terrible internet that streaming and downloading something at the same time, forget it. Don't ever attempt it. Even if it's only 29 megabytes. The thing is, though, we downloaded the new DLC for Euro Truck during yesterday's stream. That was 500 megabytes, and that only took, like, 15 minutes. And this is way slower. Thanks for following Sexual Lag Monster 666 on Twitch. Thank you very much. How are you doing? Welcome. What's your download speed? Says STFC. No idea. It's bad. It's very bad. On a good day, it can get up to 25. But it's not. It doesn't often. Let's just say. And especially not when I'm streaming at the same time. Game's gone dead, says Rocco. I'm downloading a mod, Rocco. Or updating a mod, rather. There we go. Okay. And dive back in. Would I be able to play, says Mason? It's single player only at the minute, Mason. Sorry. That Teletruck was quite expensive as well. Thanks for following the Black Dude on Twitch. How are you doing? What's for tea tonight, says Draydog? Just pasta. Literally just pasta. I'm not doing shopping until Monday, and we have almost nothing in. But we got a lot of pasta, so it's just going to be probably just pasta and mayonnaise, and maybe some sweet corn. We've probably got enough bits in the freezer. I can probably scrape something together to put into it, but basically just pasta. Are you a supermarket person or online shopping? Oh, I'm an online shopper. I do my shopping online. I shop at Asda. I always used to shop in person, but it's just so much more convenient to do it online, you know. And occasionally some stuff gets substituted, but you know exactly what you're getting. Something that when I go shopping in person, I always find it really annoying having to have a calculator out and having to add up how much everything costs as I go round. Because if you don't do that, then the only other option is you get to the till and you have no idea how much money you've spent. You know what I mean? Whereas with online shopping, you know exactly how much you're spending. As soon as you add something to the basket, you can see exactly what your total is. It's just so much easier than having a calculator and adding it all up as you go around the supermarket, you know? That's my thoughts on it, anyway. Anyway, we're going to buy the Massey Ferguson with a front loader attachment, which means we're also going to have to buy the front loader version of the bale spike. In fact, we might... Do we have one of these? We don't. We used to. We had one of these at the beginning. Big Chungus says, bro can't do 2 class calculations in head. I'm not surprised you're changing genders. Okay, Big Chungus, what's 399 plus 478 plus 562 plus 199 plus 287 plus 656? No calculator. Tell me right now. Can you do it? I didn't get that? Well, you should have been listening. Sorry. It's your own fault. Oh, I need to take the skid steer to the sheep farm first so that I can drop off the bale spike. Oh, I'm on the wrong side of the roads. Why am I doing that? I'm an idiot. This is going to take a while to get down to the sheep farm. You know $3.99 is 4, round up and make it easier for yourself, says Big Chungus. Yes, I am familiar with rounding, Big Chungus. I did do A-level mathematics. Although, even that is way beyond. Like, you learn rounding in, like, year 4. It's just such a weird argument to make, like, that because I don't want to go around the shop and add up the totals of all the products in my head as I go, therefore I must be bad at maths. Like, no, maybe it's just more convenient, you know? I really don't understand where you're coming from with this argument. Thanks for following Jamal12345554884 on Twitch. Thank you very much. Thanks for following Samson. Thanks for following FS22 Groundworks. I don't think we are going to get all of the fields planted today at this point. I didn't realise we were going to be dragging this skid steer all the way down to the shop. I'm just realising as well, we need to bring a pallet fork down here as well. I should have just got a low loader. I really should have just bought a low loader. It would have saved us a lot of time. We're like not even halfway. Oh, this is painful. Hannah says it's optimal. I agree. Had to do an in-person shop last week and it took me 2 hours as well. That's the thing as well. It's not just the convenience of it all being added up for you. There's so many other reasons that online shopping is easier. First of all, you don't have to go to the supermarket. As someone who doesn't drive, the only, if I do in-person shopping, I have to go there on the bus and come back in a taxi. Why would I waste money on that when I can do it online? You know? And even if I had a car, like, just doing it at home is more convenient than driving to the supermarket and driving back again, you know? Like, there's so many reasons that it's more convenient. James says, yeah, but the online shop gives you the crap sell-by dates, which is annoying. Not in my experience, James. Where do you shop? I mean, occasionally they have sent stuff that's very close to the sell-by date, but I've never had anything like past date, and usually they're fairly, they're fairly okay. And also, I only shop for the week. Like, I do a weekly shop, so like the stuff that I'm buying is going to be used within 7 days anyway, you know? Okay, there's the sheep. We're going straight past them. Nearly there. I'm pretty sure this isn't road legal, by the way. I don't think you'd be able to. I don't think you'd be allowed to drive this on an actual road in real life. Thanks for following Jamal Blackman GK1. I'm going to assume that that's an alt account of Jamal 12345554844, and I'm also going to assume that that's an alt account of the Black Dude. I mean, thanks for following on 3 different accounts, I guess. Thanks for following HTFC Logan. This yard, by the way, is absolutely huge for what we've got in it. Thanks for following Angry Peanut. Thanks for following Louis Vuitton and CS. Does the wheel have force feedback or is it just center? No force feedback, but it is self-centering, although it does rock quite a bit when you when it resets itself. Okay, I am going to... Look, we could get... Wait. Can we get an AI worker to do this? Hang on, hang on. I've just remembered that you can get AI workers to drive to places for you. Create job. Hold on. Set destination. The shop. Can you do it? Target is unreachable. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember why I literally never use this now. Because it never works. Let's try and go out onto the road and see if it works from there. It might just be because I'm in the yard. Are you monetized on the purple app? Don't know how many followers you need. I've got enough followers, STFC. I think it's 50, which I've already got. The problem is I don't have enough concurrent viewers currently to get affiliate. Because I have, like I say, I've got 50 followers on Twitch, but hardly anyone watches my streams on Twitch, so I haven't managed to get 3 concurrent viewers yet. Right, well now you're just lying. Now you're just lying. Okay, where can you drive to? Can you drive to just outside the farm shop? Can you drive to here? Nope. Once again, AI drivers being completely useless cunts. Sorry guys, we're going to have to drive all the way back. Well, we can at least reset it to the shop, you know. But we're going to have to make this trip 2 more times. We got to bring the pallet fork down here and the bale shredder. So that's 2 more trips we have to make all the way down there because the AI worker won't do it for us. Classic farming sim AI from road to road but not self-made roads. They're not even self-made roads though, Hannah. Those roads, like all of those roads are standard roads on the map. Not easier leasing a flatbed to do it quicker. It could be. What's the cheapest flatbed we can get? Oh yeah, it has to be a low loader specifically. I think this one we can lease for... Oh, it only costs $1,000 to lease. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think we may as well. make it a little bit quicker for us. Why is that adjusting my... Since when? Since when does that adjust my... I was literally driving this same tractor about half an hour ago, and this was changing the gears. Why is it now... Why is it now adjusting my mirror? What? This game. I love this game so much, but what the fuck is this game? It's just so stupid sometimes. I don't think you're allowed to play this game, says Lil Juicy. And why is that, Lil Juicy? Thanks for following, by the way. Why am I not allowed to play Farming Sim? Reason is because you're not a real farmer, which means you can't play. You really think that every single person who's ever played Farming Sim is a real-life farmer? You really think that no one who isn't a real-life farmer has ever played this game? Seriously? What do you think there's like? Do you think there's like a verification thing when you buy the game? You have to show your farmer's license. You have to pull out a little card that says "licensed to farm," and then they'll let you buy Farming Simulator. Do you think that's how it works? Okay, there we go. We got the pallet fork as well. What game do you think you're going to play tomorrow, says Harry? I'm not streaming tomorrow, Harry. My next stream's going to be on Sunday. I'm going to be playing some more Oddworld Soulstorm. There we go. Okay, I have pushed that forwards a bit far. I think once the tension belts are fastened, it's not really going to matter. It's not going to fall off. Let's go. I'll fold it up. And put the beacon on. Why is it struggling so much with this? Weird. Okay, this is definitely faster than driving it all the way down on its own, though. Move the skid steer over the axle. Oh, is that why? Why would that make a difference, though? Clay06300 says, no, it's not. You just feel cool with it on a trailer. I mean, it literally took 5 real-world minutes for me to drive the skid steer from the shop to the sheep farm. And we've almost gotten there in 30 seconds. So yes, it is significantly faster. Also, what's that logic? You know, oh, you know what would make me look really cool? If I put my skid steer on the back of a low loader. What's the logic? I swear people just say shit. People just join my live streams and just say things that make no logical sense whatsoever. Like, oh yeah, you know what all the cool kids are doing? They're putting their skid steers on the back of low loaders. That's how you really show that you're with it. It actually might be worth buying a low loader, because we will get a lot of use out of it, I feel like. I think we got the lease to buy mod as well, so we could buy this one while we're leasing it. What map, says Aaron? This is Saxlingham. You got a mum, says Lil Juicy? I do have a mum, Lil Juicy. And before you ask, yes, she's very proud of me and she's very supportive. Does your mum braid your hair, says Trippy? Well, as you can see, my hair is not braided. And I've never braided my hair, actually. Is it on Xbox? It is, Aaron, yes. You can get Saxlingham on consoles now. Oh, wait. Hang on. I would leave the country and never come back if my family came out. It's disgusting, in my opinion. Lil Juicy, you have no idea how funny that sounds to me. Like, if one of your family members said to you, Lil Juicy, I'm transgender, you would just be like, you know what? I'm leaving the country. Goodbye. And you'd just fucking emigrate. Because one of your family members was gay or trans. Do you have any idea how, like, pathetic that makes you sound? And I bet you're also the same kind of person who, like, insists that, you know, oh, I don't hate gay or trans people, I just don't want it shoved in my face. Like, clearly you do. You hate them so much that you would fucking emigrate if one of your family members was transgender. That's normal people don't think like that. Normal people don't think those things. Like, yeah, maybe disowning a family member for being transgender. Some people definitely do that. But no normal, sane person would ever consider moving to another country because they had a trans family member. That's not a normal thing to think. Definitely vote for Keir Starmer, says Lil Juicy. Nope, never voted for Keir Starmer, never will. If you must know, I voted Green in the last election, and I intend to vote Green in the next election as well. Now you know my political views, and I'm sure you'll rip into me for those, but I don't care, because I can guarantee that I know who you voted for. Some people are just mean in their head, be whatever sexuality you want. Thank you, Crawford. How do people vote reform, says Crawford. I honestly don't know, Crawford. How did people vote for Donald Trump? I don't know, but they did. People just be voting for shit. Hello, Max Joel. How are you? What map are you on? This is Saxlingham, Kyle. Thanks for following, Mac Joel. Or Magcall, sorry. Whoa. Okay. Slowly. What New Holland tractor is that, says War Legend? That is the New Holland TM series. I'm not actually selling the pallets right now, by the way. I'm just moving them so that there's room for more to spawn. Logan's attempting to start a political debate, by the way, which we're not going to indulge in. The only thing I will say is I always find it funny when people come across a trans person and they're like, oh, I bet you love Keir Starmer. Like, why would you think that? Why would you think that I like Labour? They've been so ridiculously anti-trans this last year. Why would you think that I like Keir Starmer? I think it's because they think in black and white. They think like you're either a Tory or Labour, and there's no other option. You know. What party do you like most, says Will? Well, considering that the Green Party is the only major party in this country which has unanimously committed to, you know, being pro-trans, I'm going to say Green. I think Green have made it clear that they will support trans people, full stop, and no other party has done that. I think every party has a couple of MPs that are willing to stand up for trans people, but there's no other party that said, look, if you are anti-trans, you're not welcome in this party. So for that reason alone, Green. I'm going to vote for the party that actually thinks I should be allowed to exist. You know what I mean? How long have you been playing today, says Josh? About 2.5 hours, Josh. Okay, I'm not actually going to return this low loader just yet. I'm going to take it back to the farmyard, but I think we'll keep it for future use. And I might actually end up buying it. At the minute, it's just a rental. But we have got lease to buy. Do you get bored of farming sim, says Harry? No. Never. Ever played Project Zomboid? Played it for the first time yesterday. It's good, said SCFC. I would like to try it. It's one of those games that's always been on my radar, but I've never got around to playing it. But it does look good. What map is that? Is it on console? This is Saxlingham, and yes, it is on console. This is Farm Sim 25, by the way. Why do you have long hair, says Elliot? Because I'm a girl and girls have long hair. That's what I got taught when I was 3 years old. I have to have long hair because I wouldn't be a girl then. No, I have long hair because I want to have long hair. As simple as that. How was the Nordic Horizons DLC for ETS2 last night? It was great, Josh. First impressions, very good. We visited Honningsvåg. We visited Kiruna. We went to the underground iron mine in Kiruna, which was absolutely incredible. From what I've seen of it so far, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to playing some more of it in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks for the tofu, Crawford. And thank you, Ob, for the heart me, and Scottish Modding for the heart me as well. Oh, shit. I'm trying to use my gear shifter, which doesn't actually work for Farming Sim. Oh, no, this trailer's got an This trailer's got a dolly. Okay, we can't reverse it then. I'm not even going to attempt to reverse it. Pronouns, she, her. Thanks for asking, Farmer Bill. I could get it a bit closer, couldn't I? Have you ever driven a real tractor? I have, actually, Joseph, yes. A couple of times. Back when I used to go to work with my granddad, he used to work on a farm. He used to take me to work with him on the weekends. So I've had a very, very limited experience, but I have been behind the wheel of a tractor on a couple of occasions. Thanks for following, Joseph, by the way. Thanks for following Anthony Coffin and Harvester. The stream's getting quite busy, by the way. There's 63 people here right now. Hello, if you just joined in. Thanks, Will Bolton, Caden Dallas. Thank you all very much. Tom says, hey, I'm so sorry, but I'm feeling as if I'm in the wrong body. I feel as if I should be a girl. Well, Tom, is this a new feeling? You know, how I don't think I'm really the person to be talking to be honest. If you're having feelings like that, definitely it's good to have someone to talk to. But, you know, just to be perfectly honest with you, I don't mean to be rude. I mean, I just don't think asking someone in the middle of a live stream is really the best place to go for advice. If you are having those feelings, there are definitely people out there you can talk to, and you should definitely look for people to talk to. You could talk to me if you want. You can, you know, join the Discord server. I'm always happy to chat about stuff like that in the Discord. But it's not really the sort of thing to get bogged down with in a live stream like this, you know. So again, if you want to talk about it, if you want any help or advice, I'd be more than happy to talk to you, but not midstream. But do please ignore all the people who are just immediately flooding you with transphobic nonsense. Ignore them. This is a safe space to share those feelings. It's just not really the place to discuss them in detail, you know? Thanks for following, Scully. Is it Scully or Sully? Is it a silent C? Oh, it's raining. Oh, we need to plant today, though. We need to plant the corn. And the sunflowers. Shit, we need to plant the sunflowers today as well. Right, let's get moving. I understand, I'm so sorry. It's okay, Tom. Honestly, like I say, if you want to talk, please do feel free to DM me or join the Discord server. I'll be happy to talk with you. It's just not really... I don't really want to do it midstream because, I mean, you can already see some of the comments here. You unfortunately, you are going to get a lot of comments like that. If we talk about stuff like that on stream, you're going to get people... just saying the most awful things to you, and I don't want that. I don't want you to have to go through that, you know? If you want to talk, let's do it outside the live stream. Thanks for following Jack Harvey, by the way. Okay, it's time to plant the sweet corn. Let's get going. Thank you for following Harvey Lovell. Thanks for following Kay Bateson. Got a lot of followers coming in today. Thank you, Brody. Thank you, Cans. Wow, we're doing quite good for the followers today. Thank you very much, everyone. I do appreciate it. Would this game work on the Logitech G29? Should do, Harry. Yeah, should do. Thanks for following Harvey Lovell and Harry Boswell Remain, by the way. If the followers keep coming this quickly, I might have to stop reading them out. But thank you, everyone who has followed. I do very much appreciate it. We're planting. We don't need wheel weights. I knew we didn't need the wheel weights. Although, actually, that front wheel does look like it's a little bit raised. Maybe not wheel weights, but maybe a front weight would be a good idea. I feel like we might struggle when it comes to corners. Thanks for following Zach123. What headset is that, says Caden Dallas? This is an EXA 1000. That's EKSA 1000. Very cheap entry-level headset, but, you know, to be honest, I only really use the headset when I'm streaming. I don't wear headphones when I'm just playing games in general, so I don't really need anything too fancy. This does the job, and it only cost me like 15 quid on Amazon, so I'm happy with it. Thanks, Caden, for following. Okay, here's the moment of truth. How well will it handle the corner? Seems to be doing okay. Honestly, that kind of went fine. Fair enough. Is this full-time job, says Daniel? It isn't, Daniel, no. Would be great. It'd be great if I could make enough money off of this to make a living off of it. But no, I do get the occasional gift, and I do have my wonderful Patreon supporters. Thanks, guys. But definitely not... I earn maybe, like, £10 a month from live streaming. It's not particularly lucrative at this moment in time. Bertie Boys says, back from work, gonna grind farming sim while watching you. Thank you, Bertie Boys. Welcome back. That's Bertie Boys on Twitch, by the way. If anyone's wondering, if I ever read out comments that you can't see, it's because I'm also reading out the chat from the other sites that I'm streaming on. Believe it or not, I have had people accuse me of reading out fake comments. in the past when actually I've been reading out comments from the Twitch stream. So just to clarify, I am also reading Twitch comments and YouTube comments. How do you become a Patreon, says Crawford? If you would like to become a Patreon member, there's a link in my bio. It costs £1 a month. So basically you pay £1 a month, I think it's £1.20 after tax, to support me in what I do on TikTok, YouTube and Twitch. You know, not just the live streams, but the videos that I make as well. You get a shout out on stream like this. You get access to behind the scenes content like early access videos, uncut footage, bloopers, outtakes, all that kind of stuff. And like I say, you'll be supporting me in what I do here on TikTok. So if you're interested, it's only £1 a month. And it would be greatly appreciated. Okay, I think we missed a tiny bit at the corner there, but I'm not worried about that, really. How are you? I'm good, thank you. I'm good today. What time are we on, by the way? Oh god, it's 5 to 5 already? Okay, we might have to go a little bit later today, then. I was planning on finishing at 5, but I want to at least get this field done. So I guess we'll keep going for another 10-15 minutes. It depends how long it takes, really. It's a good job we started early, so I've got extra time at the end, you know. Thanks for following, Harry. Thanks for following. User cannot be found. Let's stay in the cab for a little bit. I like being in the cab when it's raining. How was the new ETS DLC last night, says CK Transport? Very good, CK Transport. My first impressions were very good. We started in Honningsvåg, which is the very, very northernmost city on the map as of now, way up in the top of Finland. We started up there and drove down to Innova, I think it's called, in Finland, and then we also did a delivery to the iron mine in Kiruna. The iron mine was really cool. There's an entirely underground mine that you can drive into and drive around. Really cool, really cool. The new DLC, for anyone who's wondering, is the Nordic Horizons DLC. It adds in some cities in the north of Norway, Sweden and Finland. They also released a new Forest Machinery DLC, which I also bought. We didn't get a chance to do any deliveries with it, but we do also have that for next time. But yeah, my first impressions were very good. When are you going to start doing convoy mode again, says CK Transport? I'm not sure, CK Transport. We shall see. Probably not until after Christmas now, because I'm going to be spending a lot of time on the Nordic Horizons map. I mean, I could do a convoy on the Nordic Horizons, but it does mean that anyone who wanted to join the convoy will also have to own the DLC. So, if you're prepared to buy the DLC, then let me know. If enough people are interested, then we could do a convoy on the new DLC map. Did you get any of the animated truck loading things? Not yet, CK Transport. I think at the minute it only applies to logs and pipes. We didn't see any... We were doing deliveries with the low loader. We didn't see any deliveries with it. But again, maybe next time. I've bought it already, just haven't played it. Nice one, CK Transport. Maybe we will do a convoy then if you're interested. My next live stream for Euro Truck is going to be on the 9th of December. So make a note in your diary, anyone who wants to join me for a convoy. Next stream will be the 9th of December. Do you think ETS2 is worth getting? Because I play on PS, and when it comes out I'm debating whether to get it. I would definitely get it on PlayStation when it comes out, Harry. It's a great game. You'll get a lot of joy out of it. Obviously, we don't know for sure what the PlayStation version is going to look like. I imagine there's probably going to be some compromises made, but I don't know what. I think it will be fun all the same, you know. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I think it's strange to me that it's taken this long for them to do a console version, you know. But I would definitely get it. Absolutely. Is that hail? Says Mr. Akushi. I think it's just big rain. I think it's just big raindrops, but it does look a little bit like hail. Do you want to know what the funny thing is? Go on, CK Transport. Oh, okay, your graphics are great. Thank you, Mr. Askushi. Is that your name? It's hard to read because it's strike through text. Perfectly pronounced. Thank you, Mr. Askushi. The funny thing is that at the start of the year I bought a PC just for ETS2, says CK Transport. Damn. Wow. Then I discovered it's coming out on Xbox. Well, that's life, you know. That shit happens like that. But honestly, now that you've got the PC, you might as well keep it. You know, it's a good thing to have. Game name is Farming Sim 25. You're slick. Others say it like Akushi. Meanwhile, you said it right like Askushi. Oh yeah, I see. I wasted about £700, but now I play BeamNG and that's not so bad. Honestly, it's worth it for BeamNG. Love BeamNG. I think I've said it before, but I think I've never understood the whole debate about PC versus console. I think it depends on your circumstances. For some people, a PC is the better option. For some people, a console is the better option, and they're both equally good for different purposes, you know what I mean? Like for me personally, I need a PC because I do a lot of video editing and stuff like that as well, so even if I had a PlayStation or an Xbox, I'd still have to have a PC as well for video editing, so it just makes sense to use the PC for gaming too. Like I say, it really just depends what your individual needs are. For some people, a console is the better option. For some people, a PC is the better option, and that's fine, you know. Can we join your farming server? Unfortunately, not CK Transport. This is single player only. Which one do you prefer mostly, ETS or Farming Sim? I honestly couldn't say, Mr. Escucci. I think they're both incredible games, and I've been playing both for a very long time. I really don't think I could pick a favourite between them. Kid says, I got a new gear stick, the same one as you. Nice one. It's a great gear stick. You'll have a lot of fun with it, especially if you play a lot of Euro Truck. It is really, really great for Euro Truck. Do you have a multiplayer one, says CK Transport? I don't at the minute, no. I was thinking maybe in the new year I might do a multiplayer server on Kinlake, the Scottish map from the Highlands Fishing DLC. But at the minute, we're coming up to the end of the year. I'm only going to be playing on this map for a few more weeks, so I'm going to stick with single player for now. They're both great. I agree, Askushi. Again, I think Farming Sim and Euro Truck are both really great games in different ways, you know. Been using it on Gran Turismo 7. Nice one, kid. I've not used it for any racing games as of yet, because I don't really play any racing games, but I imagine it's pretty good for those. Is the stick compatible with the wheel? The stick is a separate USB. The stick, it doesn't plug into the wheel, it plugs into its own USB port, so it's obviously, you know, compatible with any steering wheel. And yeah, it's a very good option. Enjoy and take care. Thank you, Mr. Escucci. Thank you for joining today. We are going to be finishing up soon, by the way. It's just gone 5 o'clock. I'm going to finish this field, and then we'll call it a day. How much was it and what's it called? I might get one, says CK Transport. It's called the Thrustmaster TH8S, and it's £70, I believe, $69.99. They do have a cheaper 6-speed one as well, but I've got the 8-speed. And I think the 8-speed works better for Euro truck, because obviously trucks have a lot of gears. But yeah, there is a 6-speed version, which is a bit cheaper as well, as far as I know. On console, you need a Thrustmaster for it to be compatible. Thank you, kid. Okay, so if you're playing on console, you will need a Thrustmaster wheel as well, or else it won't work. If you're on PC, as you are, CK Transport, you can mix and match, you know, because it's a separate USB. What's your favourite crop? I'm doing soybeans at the minute, says Bertie Boys. I don't know if I really have a favourite crop. I enjoy doing your standard grain crops. Anything that can be harvested with a standard combine harvester. Sweet corn, soybeans, sunflowers, oats, sorghum, all of that kind of stuff I really enjoy. I don't enjoy the specialist crops as much because the equipment is so slow. Like something like peas or potatoes, the machinery is just way too slow for me to enjoy harvesting those crops. But yeah, anything that you can do with a combine, I like. Thanks for following, by the way, CK Transport. Kid says I mostly drive 6-speed cars, so it's hard not to shift in reverse when going into 6th. Oh, fair enough. I understand that, kid. You're trans, says Serix Tabor. I am indeed, yes. Hey Saul, how's the day today? Very good, Toonish. How are you doing? It's been a good stream. Very good stream, especially the last hour or so. It really took off. We had about 70 people here earlier, which is the best we've done in a while. So, happy with that. CK Transport says, you're a great streamer, polite, and actually answer my questions. Thank you. Thank you, CK Transport. That's very kind of you to say. I've always said, I never understand people who do live streams and they just sit there and completely ignore the chat. Like, I've seen it before. You join someone's live stream and they're just sat there and they never even look at the chat. They never read out any comments. They never talk. They just sit there playing the game in complete silence. And I'm just like, what's the point in streaming then if you're just going to sit there and not talk to the chat? For me, the whole point of streaming is so that I can talk, you know? Like, if I didn't want to talk, I could just do a Let's Play instead. The whole reason that I live stream is to talk to people. You know, that's the fun of it for me. That's what I get out of it, is the conversation. So thank you, CK Transport. I do try and keep the conversation flowing as much as I can. What time are you going to be on Sunday? Oh, I'm going to be live at 3 PM till 6 PM on Sunday, Harry. Haven't seen you live in ages, lol. Oh, well, welcome back, 145. How are you doing? How do I get your link tree? I've got the app. So all you need to do is click on the link in my bio, and that goes through to my link tree page. That's basically just a page with links to all of my other pages on it. You're only allowed one link in your TikTok bio. So the link goes to the link tree, and then the link tree has links to all of my other pages. I've got Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Discord. Where are you from, says Serix Tabor. I am originally from Harrogate in North Yorkshire. I currently live in Doncaster in South Yorkshire. I've lived here pretty much my entire life. Apart from when I was at university, I lived in Bath for a couple of years, but I've lived in Doncaster pretty much since I was less than a year old. Do you have a Discord server that I can join? I do, CK Transport. Once again, click the link in my bio to go to my link tree, and then there's another link in there that goes to the Discord server. But you're more than welcome to join. We got about 60 members at the moment. Watch computer specs, says 145. I have an Intel i5 12400F. I keep saying 11,400F, but it is actually a 12. I just keep getting mixed up because my old PC had an 11,000. But yeah, Intel i5, RTX 2070, 8GB GPU, and 32 gigs of graphics. 32 gig RAM, sorry. I'm going to be back on Sunday. Goodbye, and thank you for answering my question. Thank you, Harry. What's Patreon? Says Cokinston. Patreon is a... It's like a crowdfunding website. Maybe crowdfunding is not the best way to describe it. It's a place where you can pay me money. If you want to join the Patreon, these are my current Patreon supporters. Basically, you pay £1 a month to support me in what I do on TikTok and YouTube and Twitch. In exchange, you get a shout out on stream, you get access to behind the scenes content like early access videos, uncut footage, stuff like that. And you get VIP status in the Discord server as well. Marika there, who's just commented, join us, is one of my loyal supporters. Thank you, Marika. But yeah, it's just it's a nice way to chip in a little bit financially if you want to do that. I do get a lot of gifts on TikTok as well, and I very much do appreciate that. But if you want to support me in a slightly more permanent way, Patreon's a good place to do that. Like I say, you pay £1 a month, and you'll be supporting what I do here. Which is more than just live streams. I don't just live stream, I also make videos, and I put a lot of passion and a lot of energy into my videos. And it's very much appreciated, those of you who do watch those. How do I join the Patreon? Same again, check the link in my bio to go to the link tree, and then there's another link in there that goes to Patreon. Kid says, just watch your setup video. I didn't know it was a desk, thought it was a DIY with wood. No, this is a real corner desk. It's got a wood effect, as has most of the stuff in my room. I love this like dark kind of walnut. I think it's walnut. I love that kind of wood, and like almost all of my shelves in my bedroom, apart from the big white ones, are made of this material. My desk is this material. Downstairs, my piano stool is made of this material. I've got quite a lot of furniture that has this this wood effect because I really like the pattern. I really like the design. Mahogany. It's not quite as dark as mahogany, but yeah, it's in that sort of area. And obviously, it's not real. It's it's veneer. Definitely couldn't afford an actual solid mahogany desk. Since it's only £1, I might join it. Thank you, CK Transport. That would be very much appreciated. I wanted to keep it as just £1 because I feel like £1 is reasonable for the benefits that you get. When I first started it, it was £5 a month. But I quickly realised, like, nobody's going to pay £5 a month just to have their name on a board, right? And obviously I do offer some other behind-the-scenes stuff as well, but it didn't feel like it was worth £5 a month. So I put it down to £1. I thought, you know, for the benefits that you get, £1 does seem quite reasonable. And obviously at least 9 people agree because they have paid it. But yeah, if you want to check it out, please do consider it. It would be very much appreciated. £5 is still cheaper than a cup of coffee. It is. That is true, BPL. Well, depends which cup of coffee, but certainly there are some expensive cups out there. What time are we on IRL? It's 5:10. Okay. Looks like we might be finishing at past, maybe 20 past. I'm not sure how much longer this is going to take, but I am going to keep streaming until I've finished this field. Is this Farm Sim 22? This is 25, Serix. BPL says, when I get a coffee every day, it's £7.80 at the petrol station. Damn! Wow. I wouldn't pay that much for a coffee, to be honest. To be fair, I don't know. I don't know how much I would pay. I don't really drink coffee out of the house, to be honest. I have a morning cup at home. I buy Kenko instant cappuccino sachets, which are delicious, by the way. I love those. But I don't really drink coffee when I'm out of the house, because I only really drink one cup first thing in the morning. Thanks for following, Alfie. Did I think I might have just said that. My memory has just immediately vanished. You should definitely make multiplayer farming sim server. I'd enjoy it. Thank you for saying so, Transport. Like I say, I think in the new year I might look at doing multiplayer when we move to Kinleague, which I'm very much looking forward to playing. What type of New Holland is that? This is the T8000 series, the T8050 specifically. This is from the new Highlands Fishing DLC, and the trailer is also from the DLC. This is the Vaderstat Proceed 5. It's a seeder and a planter, so you can plant everything that you can plant with a seeder and everything that you can plant with a planter as well, which is really cool. Don't have to have two separate pieces of equipment now. But I'm a big New Holland fan. Oh, we need fuel. We're running low on fuel. When my granddad... When I used to go to work with my granddad on the farm, he drove a New Holland T6, I believe. So I've always had a liking for New Holland specifically. You know, we've also got the New Holland TM series here, which is one of my personal favourite tractors of all time. Love that one. But yeah, I'm a big New Holland person. I'm now a Patreon. Thank you very much, Crawford. Thank you so much. If you have joined the Patreon during today's stream, your name will be added to the board before the next live stream, which will be on Sunday. So don't worry, your name will be on there if you've joined today. And thank you very much if you have. I'll do a quick shout out at the end of the stream as well, just for anyone who has joined today, whose name isn't on the board yet. And of course I'll read out the names that are on the board, as always. I better be for 120, says Crawford. Yeah, don't worry. As long as the money's... If the payment's gone through, your name will be there. Don't worry. And the second your payment declines, the name gets wiped off the board immediately. I'm joking. Well, half joking. If you stop supporting me, then obviously I'll take your name off the board. But it won't be quite that instant and resentful. You know, I understand. So sometimes people do stop supporting. I've had a couple. There are a couple of names that have disappeared from the board over the last year, and that's fine. Sometimes people move on and they just don't want to support anymore on Patreon, and that's absolutely fine. I prefer the Ford tractor. I do like Ford as well. BPL, obviously Ford went on to become New Holland. But there's some great classic Ford tractors that I'm a big fan of as well. And we do have a few mods for those, which we'll have to have a look into at some point. When we move on to Kinleague, I might try and do a vintage equipment run again, because I love playing with vintage equipment. I don't think you really can on this map because the fields are way too big, but if I can find a map, something like Osada that's got a lot of nice small fields, I would like to do a vintage equipment playthrough again. And like I say, if they ever update the Through the Years mod for FS25, I would definitely like to do a series with that. I'm going to play Gary's mod in a minute. Nice one, Crawford. Thank you for joining. And I'll see you on Sunday, I guess. God, even with this machine, it's going to take ages. The fields are just so big on this map. I think maybe a bit too big. Goodbye, have a nice evening. See you later, Crawford. When are you going to do Train Sim, says BPL? No more Train Sim for the rest of this year, BPL. The reason being that I'm working on my Train Sim project at the minute. So I've spent so much time on Train Simulator in the last couple of weeks that I really don't want to be playing it on stream as well. I'm really starting to get tired of it, to be honest. But I'm very close to releasing my my route upgrade for the Durham coastline. I'm just adding the finishing touches to it at the minute, working on the scenarios and the manual and stuff like that. But yeah, there's not going to be any more Train Sim streams until the end of the year. Maybe I'll do one when it's actually been released and we could do a couple of drives on the new route. But for the time being, it's taken a backseat. Are children ever scared of you, says Sam. I don't think so, Sam, no. Not to my knowledge. My nephew's certainly not scared of me, so... you should do Weymouth to London Waterloo. I would love to do Weymouth to London Waterloo. The only slight problem is there is no up-to-date route from Weymouth to Waterloo. There's a couple of routes that are quite old and out of date that do cover the whole route. But because they haven't been updated for a while, they're a little bit unstable. It's definitely a drive that I'd like to do. I specifically, Weymouth to London Waterloo is a drive that I've wanted to do in Train Sim for a while. But yeah, the existing map is very outdated and very unstable. There's a few things like that in Train Sim. Obviously, as much of the network as there is in Train Simulator, there's still quite a lot of the British rail network that isn't in the game. And it is a shame. There's definitely some drives that I would personally really like to do that I can't do because no one's made a route for it yet. Another good example is Bristol to Weymouth. I've always wanted to drive Bristol to Weymouth in Train Simulator, but there's no route that runs from Bristol to Weymouth in the game. Like, no one's made that route yet. And eventually someone probably will, but, you know. That's the thing, there's still quite a few routes that just aren't in the game. York to Sheffield would be a really good one as well. And fun fact, somebody is actually working on that. There's a project that's being made at the minute. I think it's called Railways of West Yorkshire or something like that. But someone, I forget who the developer is, someone is putting together a West Yorkshire metro network. Which, you know, when that does release, it will be possible to drive from York to Leeds and Sheffield, which is a drive that I've always wanted to do. And Hull, someone's working on a extension to Hull as well. That would be really cool to see when it eventually releases. I have actually driven a 159/2 from Weymouth to Bristol Temple Meads. Nice one, BPL. Like I say, it seems like it would be a cool drive to do. Especially because there's a few request stops between There's a couple of request stops between Castle Carry and Yeovil, right? I think there's 3 in a row, and I always like doing routes with request stops on Train Sim. There's a lot of scenario potential with them because you can choose whether or not passengers are going to be there to be picked up. I love request stops, by the way. I've never been to a request stop in real life, and I've always wanted to. There used to be one in Cleethorpes. There used to be a station called New Clee, but it's not a request stop anymore. But I want to visit a request stop. There aren't any near me in Doncaster. But I just think there's just something so cool to me about sticking your hand out for a train like you would for a bus, you know? Like, hold out your hand, please stop, you know? I'd love to do that. At night, it's interesting. Yeah, how do request stops work at night? Because it's a lot harder to see people standing on the platform, I'm guessing, at night. I know most request stops, there's usually a speed restriction. You know, like trains have to slow down as they approach, which makes it easier to spot if there's people there, but that's not always the case. Okay, we're very nearly done now, by the way. I know it's almost 5:30. We were supposed to end 25 minutes ago, but we're so close to finishing this field now, we might as well see it to the end, you know? There's a button that you press on the platform and we get an orange signal. Oh, interesting, BPL. I didn't know that. So then, can you press that in the day as well, or do you just stick your hand out if it's daytime? Same for the day. Interesting. Is that a recent addition? Because I've always, like, I've seen videos of people at request stops, and they always like just hold their hand out, like as if they were waiting for a bus, you know? I guess it is safer to have a button on the platform rather than sticking your hand out into the middle of the track, you know? In the last 3 years. Ah, okay. So it is a recent development then. Interesting. And how does it work from the perspective of someone wanting to get off the train? Like, I'm guessing they tell the conductor, I want to get off at the next stop, and then the conductor goes to the driver's cab and says, someone wants to get off at the next stop. Which is so crazy to me. It's so crazy that you could just be like, can you please stop the train? I want to get off. I've just had another thought. You know those Oh, the guard will go through the train and then ring the driver on the phone. Ah, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. You know those new light rail vehicles that Transport for Wales are introducing? They're very, very tram-like. Do they have bells? This is a very random question, because, you know, you don't work for Transport for Wales, but I was just curious, if anyone lives in Wales and you've seen any of the new, like, tram trains, do they have bells like buses have? No, says BPL. Interesting. It's weird, because from the outside, they look very like trams. But I guess they are technically heavy rail vehicle. Like, they're on the heavy rail network, but they're also... They're kind of a cross between heavy and light rail. The thing is, over the last few years, the line between heavy rail and light rail has gotten blurred so much, you know? There's so many, like, tram trains and stuff like that. They're trained to stop at every stop, I see. Fair enough. See, that's interesting, because then if you look at something like the tram train on the Sheffield Supertram network, that behaves like a tram, even though it does interact with the National Rail Network at Rotherham and Meadowhall. It still acts, for the most part, like a regular tram with a buzzer. It's interesting. But yeah, like I say, I feel like over the last few years, the line between heavy rail and light rail has become very muddied. There's so many projects that are like halfway between each. Tram trains are also trained to stop at every stop. I don't think they are on the Sheffield Supertram. To be fair, like, on the Sheffield Supertram, there's only 2 stations that are on the National Rail Network, and they're both terminus stations, Sheffield, Rotherham and Meadowhall. Every other station on the network is a regular tram stop on the road. So I think for the Sheffield tram train, like, obviously they do stop at Rotherham and Meadowhall because they're terminus stations, but I think, as far as I'm aware, they just run as normal trams once they enter onto the tram network. Okay, there's a tiny little bit down this end, which I'm just going to get, and then we're finished. End of stream. We're only half an hour over. Whee! But it's been a good one. It's been a good one. It really has. I've really enjoyed today's stream. It's been very busy. Haven't had a stream this busy for a while, so I very much appreciate it. Thank you everyone who's joined today. We do still need to plant. We do still need to plant in fields 9 and 15, but I'll do that in the next stream, or I might do it off camera. Actually, we'll see. Any station that Network Rail operates, trams have to stop at every station. Okay, I see, BPL. So if it's on the National Rail Network, the tram train has to stop there. If it's outside of the National Rail Network, they don't have to stop. Which, like I say, for the Sheffield Supertram, only Rotherham and Meadowhall are on the National Network. All the other stations are off the National Network. Can you say hello, Jody? Hello, Jody. Right, anyway, enough talk about trains. That is where we are going to finish the stream for today. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Don't go away. I'm just going to finish up. How's the live been? It's been good, Charlie. Been very, very, very good. I've had a good time. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Before we finish up, though, as always, I'll do my usual wrap up, but thank you everyone who has joined. I've had a wonderful time. Let me just and okay, there we go. So thanks everyone for joining. Good stream. Apologies that I haven't really made much of an effort today with the get up. Honestly, not many people really noticed or cared, to be honest. I was a little bit worried when I started the stream that I was going to get loads of people complaining about the fact that I'm not wearing any makeup and I've not got my boobs in, and you know, oh, you call yourself a trans woman but you're not even wearing makeup, because people are idiots. But thankfully we didn't have too many comments like that. I think most people didn't even notice, to be quite honest. I might do it more often. It's nice to be natural, says Charlie. It is nice to not have, you know, I mean, look, I love how I look when I've got makeup on, but putting makeup on and taking makeup off, it's annoying. It's nice sometimes to just be like, you know what, no makeup today. If you want, you can all see my stubble. I don't care. But it's been a good stream. All the same, like I say, nobody really mentioned it. I'm sure a few people picked up on it, but nobody really like called me out on it or anything like that. So I'm happy. Thank you for the roses, by the way, Marika. I think you sent those just now. Thank you very much. With that being said, it's been a good stream. We got a lot done today in game. We did some sheep management. We did some stone picking and we did some planting. We got a couple of new pieces of equipment and a new tractor. All in all, very good stream. Very happy with what we've achieved today. Next live stream is going to be Sci-Fi Sunday. We are going to be playing some more Oddworld Soulstorm, and I'm looking forward to that because it's been... The last stream ended on a bit of a sour note. I kind of rage quit the game because I was getting really frustrated with that one level. But I got past it, and I'm looking forward to playing some more Soulstorm this Sunday, so I'll see you for that. And then next week, we're going to be doing Minecraft on Monday, Soma on Wednesday, Farming Sim on Friday. That's it. So busy week next week as well. But thank you everyone once again. Before we finish up, I just want to say, if you have enjoyed, please do consider following me on TikTok, YouTube and Twitch. And also, before we finish, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters. So thank you very much to... Oh, I've knocked a little bit of my Lego over. Whoops. There we go. Thank you very much to Kate, Jess, Riley, P, Charlie, Dan, Amy, Marika, and Aaron. Thank you very, very much, everyone, for supporting me over on Patreon. And also shout out to my new Patreon members who have joined today. We have... One second. We got one new member. We got Alfie... Oh, no, we got two. We've got Hannah Chessman and Alfie Crawford. Thank you both very much. Your names will go on this board before Sunday's live stream, so thank you very much. Once again, shout out to Kate, Jess, Riley, P, Charlie, Dan, Amy, Marika, Aaron, and our newest members, Hannah and Alfie. Thank you very, very much for supporting me. If you want to get your name on this board, check out the link in my bio. It only costs £1 a month, £1.20 after tax. You'll be supporting me in what I do here on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch, and you get a shout out on stream, which for £1 a month, you can't say fairer than that. Thank you again, everyone there. Very, very much appreciated. And yes, welcome new members. Don't forget to join the Discord server as well. If you are a Patreon supporter, you will get VIP status in the Discord server, but the Discord server is open to everyone, so, you know, feel free to join that if you're interested as well. And with that being said, that really is all I've got time for today. We're almost 40 minutes over, so I am going to finish things here. Thank you very much, everyone. I will see you on Sunday for Oddworld Soulstorm. It's been great. It's been fun. We got to 7,660 followers. Very much appreciated. I think 8k by the end of the year is still looking a bit unrealistic, but we've done well today. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, Hannah. 9.8 thousand likes. Yes, indeed. Thank you, everyone, for that as well. And with that, I will see you all next time. Thanks for following Bailey Blanchard. That's all. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. See you later. See you on Sunday. Thanks for following Luke. I'm ending now. Stop following. Bye-bye, everyone. Okay, and bye-bye YouTube and Twitch as well. Great stream. Thank you very much. We got a few new followers on Twitch today as well, which I do very much appreciate. So thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you on Sunday for Oddworld Soulstorm. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Bertie boys, and bye-bye everyone else as well. Thank you.